Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the stream. It is officially 9 o'clock p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. And you, my friends, are listening to the Rantcast. My name is Joshua. I'm also known as the StrangeBus. You can visit my channel there at twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. That's twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. I am joined by my other host here, that is Kurgan, also known as HEROQUEST Fans. You can find him at twitch.tv/HEROQuestFans. That is twitch.tv/HEROQuestFans. How you doing, Kurgan?
Rantcast.
Oh, never fails. Never fails. How is everybody doing? We've got Luca Rocks, Joe Kozier, and Elviler. How are we doing, guys? I hope you're having a great evening.
Good to be back.
Oh man, is it? It's great to be back. I hope everybody's had a great week. I missed out on a lot, seems, due to no internet. So.
Oh, this is not episode 11.
Is it still saying? Oh, oops. My old one. Here, I'll change that right now.
Been gone. We've been gone too long.
I have been gone too long.
We're back on the Rantcast.
Ready? Boom! It's magic. I fixed it.
Yes. Now we're past the unlucky number. Elviler is the man. His site rocks. Elviler.com. Check it out.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah, he spent all this work on it, and I'm like, you misspelled a word there. Son of a. No, he's a good guy.
Damn! Oh, ah, damn.
Good sport. You know, a lot of good info. And well, when we get into our topics, I'll elaborate a little bit more.
Speaking of which, I have been out due to internet issues. How was your week, Kurgan? How have you been?
Oh, it's been great. It's been busy. Been doing a lot of stuff. What have you been doing?
I'll tell you what I've been doing. I like I said before, first I lost internet for 4 days. We have new internet people coming into our city, MetroNet, and they have been laying down lines and boxes. So one of their contractors decided it'd be a great idea to dig too deep and cut the main line. So
The dwarf dug down too deeply.
Yeah, so
you know what they found in the darkness.
Do I live in the sticks? No.
And flame.
We just we usually only have two providers over here. So like some people only have like Comcast and somebody else. I believe it's over here. It's like we have like MediaCom and there's another provider.
CenturyLink.
Now they're moving
like a link and it takes a century.
Yeah, now they're moving another person over here, and yeah, their contractors did not know. They even painted my yard, and like they still did not figure out where the lines were. So they broke a main line, and I was out for like almost 5 days. So
well, at least they gave you a discount for those days.
No, I still have to call them and get my refund. So that's my issue. But they were more than willing to fix it, though. They worked with my ISP to get it done. I have a guy coming down to bury the new line, and they were really fast about it. So
you just got to call their customer service line, and you got to do the Christopher Walken impression. It's like, I'm the Antichrist. Got me in a real vendetta kind of mood.
No,
never
gonna bury you.
Was singularly personified as the man who complained. No.
Yo, hey, you had one job and you couldn't do it. You're making me mad here.
Making me crazy.
Making me crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, but it's it wasn't too bad. They were really good about it. So the only issue we had is my wife called, and I don't know if it was just she had a bad egg or somebody, but that person was nasty. But yeah,
that was nasty.
But like we had somebody come down pretty much right away, and like they were like, yeah, we'll fix it. So they even came down past their shift, the technicians, and like helped get the job done. So I can't complain too much.
You broke my internet for 3 years.
um, Besides that, between this span of internet loss, I took the time to watch movies that I probably should have watched in my childhood, and um, ones I just skipped because people said they were bad. Right? Um,
And
Now I know I usually am the Star Wars guy, but I also took the time to watch the entire Indiana Jones series. Like,
ho, wait, wait, wait,
um,
wait. Uh, the fact that you are able to give like a fresh perspective, I'm so excited about this. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah. So I've never seen Indiana Jones. I'm gonna be the one guy who stands out there. Being a Lucasfilm guy, that is the only series I've never watched, and
Da,
even in
da,
my
da,
childhood,
da.
it just skipped past me. So
Hmm.
people keep talking and about Indiana Jones. I'm like, you know what? I'll just take the time and watch it. So I started at Temple of Doom and worked
Yeah,
my whole
that's
way
the
all the
first one
way
I
through
saw.
to Dial of Destiny, and I watched it. I watched it twice. I have seen. I think that's the TV show, right? That's another one I gotta comb over because
Young
I think I've seen a
Indiana
little
Jones
bit of it. But
Chronicles. Yeah, I got those
but
on DVD, and guess what? The DVDs are modified, so Lucas couldn't leave well enough alone. Anyway,
so I watched. Yeah, I watched
you
all
can
of it.
find them online.
All of it. Yeah, I saw. It's true, all of it. But yeah, I watched all of them. So not just three. I watched 1 to 3, and then I watched the Kid in the Crystal Skull, and I watched Dial of Destiny, and I watched all of them twice. I watched them all
Dang,
once, and then I took a day or two, and I watched them all again to let them all
this
sink in.
man.
Because I believe that if you're truly going to give something, even if you don't like it, you should at least give it a second chance. If you really don't like it, then fine. But like, it's a fresh perspective, right? So I have no nostalgia for
Yeah,
these movies. So
yeah.
um, another big thing is I watched Alien 3 for the first time and Alien Resurrection after watching Alien and
Mm,
Aliens. I have seen Alien and Aliens, but I never
How,
saw
how,
Alien 3 or Resurrection.
however, however, they were no prizes at the time, but what came later? It's like the prequel effect, you know. You're just like,
Mad
you know what?
Magardian. Oh, Mads Mikkelsen. The
Mad
the
Mardigan. Yeah. Willow.
oh, for Willow. Okay. See, here I am still stuck in Indiana Jones. Um,
See, I was got to jump
but
topics. Give the
yeah,
man some credit. He just watched some really awesome and some really terrible movies.
yeah. So and then I rewatched
Yeah, Willow
the
is worth watching. The TV series, I've been told to stay far, far away from it. So it's just what I
did
was
I
told.
did I like them? Did I like the I liked
He
most of
liked
the
all of
Indiana
them,
Jones.
not
I
just the
liked
men, but also the women and the children too.
I
He watched
liked
them like animals.
so here
Anyway,
I'll even switch up the title card for you because I think I put no we put up Indiana Jones first.
I'm gonna I'm
As
gonna
far
stop
as
interrupting. Oh
as
yeah.
as far as Indiana Jones goes,
Oh,
I liked most of them. Most of them. I say I liked
so there's
um
5 movies now.
yeah, I liked 4 of them. And I know that's kind of sinful to say for some people, but I really liked the original 3. Uh,
Yep.
Last Crusade was really great. I didn't mind Crystal Skull, people. I didn't.
Wow.
There were parts where it was goofy. I thought it was goofy because
Unsubbed.
once again, it's an old Harrison Ford fighting against, a lot of young people at times. But I didn't. Yeah, and like it gets really goofy at the end with the aliens, but like to me, it was fine. Like throughout most of the movie, it was just you know it was it just campy. Like it was just really it just
Well,
gets really goofy at the end, and
to
like
be
that's
fair, you notice that throughout the movies. They're kind of pulpy, right? They're kind of throwback to, like, if you ever see King Solomon's Mines, it takes it into an even further direction. But
yeah, and
yeah,
like I
stay
said,
with
I think
stay with-
just trying to go away, but like um but I liked Last Crusade a lot. Temple of Doom, I would say if I had to pick a favorite, I really liked Temple of Doom. It, because but I
That
am
was
a
my
very
first one.
classic. I'm a very classic 80s action movie guy, and Temple of Doom has a very um like hero gets the girl, hero saves bad guy or saves the world from chaos. It's very traditional, and I am I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. So, um like I could rewatch the original Die Hard like over and over again and not be bored. So, and it's just that that formula doesn't bore me at all. So, um but as far as Dial of Destiny is concerned, um which a lot of people I feel have a very negative um I guess view on. Um it's I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's great either. I just say it was a movie that didn't really need to happen. Um the
That's what
first
people said
fifth
about Crystal Skull too.
Yeah, the first 15 or 20 minutes were kind of nice. Cuz the DH thing was kind of neat, but it was also kind of cheesy. And then the rest of it was like old, like depressed Harrison Ford driving people around and saying hell no we won't go. And then like I said there's a movie there. I can't say it was bad because like I said Mads Mikkelsen's in it and I really like Mads Mikkelsen, so he plays a really good bad guy. You have Antonio Banderas who doesn't really do much but um you know, the people that were in the movie did a good job doing what they were supposed to. But I think I can't remember who the producer is. I should have looked him up before I did any of this. But he's done really good movies. He's just I don't think he was a good fit for Indiana Jones. And the last I think the last 15 minutes of the movie was kind of a something that came out of the blue for me. I didn't see it coming, but how did liking King Arthur make you not like Crusade?
Oh, so
I
I'm a different kind of nerd than I was before. So at one time I was so obsessed with like King Arthur lore, like I was trying to read like all the legends that we had in the English language, that like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I was like, nope, not funny. I watched Last Crusade. I'm like Holy Grail stuff. I'm like wrong, wrong, nope. Like
Oh,
I was such a nerd that I couldn't
you were
appreciate.
that nerd though.
Yeah, but after over time, I mean, I remember like the very well, I was
No.
much younger. The first time I saw Spaceballs, I'm like, why is this
Oh,
funny?
no, no, not according to this comic book. No, no.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, no, I've mellowed out since then. So I actually
actually,
like
yeah,
I like Raiders the most, and I can appreciate Last Crusade. We were reminiscing on the phone about some of the funny moments from it.
yeah. I
It
loved
actually
Last
is
Crusade was awesome.
pretty.
I liked it.
And even though I like the sort of like aliens lore, Crystal Skull was all over the place. But you could have seen it as a send off, and then Dial of Destiny I have not seen. But
Well,
I've
like I
been
said, I
told
saw it
that
twice.
instead of having like so like the Irishman and Captain Marvel, was there some other movie that and Rise of Skywalker? It's like you get these de-aging movies where it's like you can tell it's an older person because like they move slow even though they look young and look like a plastic face. Whereas in
Yeah.
this one, I've kind of spoiled myself. I've seen
He,
clips and things. His face is like young Harrison Ford, but then the body is some stunt man that's like just doing his
yeah,
own
it's
thing.
not. I don't think it's him. But the it's the voice. They took all this care into prepping him, and then like that. It's like it was a movie. Like what? Like it still has that gravelly like Harrison Ford from like now. So it takes you way out of it. Like they had 200 plus people working on de-aging him, and they spent a lot of money doing so. And then like dude, we have AI that can replicate if you try hard enough that can replicate voices. If you just have him speak and then have the AI replicate it, you could probably do something that's close enough to like him from 30 years ago, 30 40 years ago, and it would probably come out really good. But Yeah, but I don't know. It wasn't like it wasn't not enjoyable for me, but there were parts that like I started to drift off. And like if a movie puts me to bed, it's it's not a bad movie. It's just it's not my thing. So
I is
I
it
wouldn't I wouldn't go to
what's
a
the name
theater
of
for it.
what's the actress? Is it Phoebe?
I think
Phoebe
I like I
Waller
said,
Bridge.
she was like
Is
she was
she
pretty
his
much the person
niece?
to replace him.
Yeah. Well, people.
Goddaughter, I believe.
Oh, goddaughter. Sorry. People were
Yeah.
saying that she was like insufferable and annoying. Is that the
Um
case, or what did you think?
no, I don't think so. It's the fact that I think what makes her annoying of a character is like I think they're trying to replace her as the role. I feel they're trying to shoehorn her as the as an indie character because she does a lot of the and like I said, Meister Claza. When I watched a Red Letter Media review about this, and I kind of agree with it. They he states like she does the same mannerisms, kind of like as like the original indie mannerisms from the older movies. She'll like there's like a scene where she's sitting down with this kid here, and she's like oogling dudes and she's talking about them like but not in like just kind of like in like a nonchalant way, or she's always got like a drink in her hand, or like when Indy goes to retrieve the dial from her, she's trying to sell it to the highest bidder. She's a very free character. She's like living minute to minute, and she's always on adventure. So wasn't Shia supposed to step into the role? No. Maybe,
Oh shoot!
maybe.
Oh shoot!
I
I heard the spoiler. Okay, can I say it?
um what was this? What's the spoiler?
He got killed in Vietnam.
Yes, yes.
It's like
Um,
what the?
they
No,
they
no, 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 no,
totally.
no, 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 no.
He
No.
was no, he was killed. He was killed off.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I
sorry,
was just imitating his. It's like no, 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 no.
sorry. I mean, like spoilers, guys. If but like, um, yeah, I don't think they were gonna bring him back. But yeah. And that was the thing about Crystal Skull was I didn't mind his role in it. It was
Yeah.
just because he was at like before he like lost his fucking mind. Uh he was a method actor, so I could see him. It made me laugh because I could just see him with a leather jacket, just roaming around Hollywood, like twisting like a switchblade and being like as fucking nuts as he is.
Yeah.
So you know,
Taking it too far.
yeah. But um,
They
like I
just need
said,
to fire the acting coaches that like put that idea into young actors' heads. That's the way to
well,
do it.
I mean, he was a method actor about everything. So like he just
Mm.
did that on that that's how he believed to do stuff. But like I think it was like a question like somebody asked him. I think it was I can't remember if it was when he was on the boat with Antonio Banderas or something like they asked him like if he had the dial what would he use it for, and he said it was to bring his son back or to tell his son that he loved him or something like that. And um at first I thought it was like just an excuse to get rid of Shia and his wife because I can't remember her name either. But like, um,
Marion.
yeah,
Marion.
Marion. But they brought her. She's in the movie too. So, um, so I don't know. Like I said, for me, just to say what the movie is, they weren't like to me they weren't all. But I don't think they're all bad. Like coming from a fresh perspective, somebody who didn't grow up with these movies, I don't think they're bad. But like, uh, I would say Dial of Destiny really didn't need to happen because you've got like I think this is just Harrison Ford's like part time. Like yeah, I think this is
Hard
his.
time.
I think this was probably his request, if anything. This is
I
something
want to
he
be in
probably just
another
wants to do.
movie.
Yeah,
It's a send
like
off, and I want to get killed off in it.
I could see him requesting to do this movie. Just like, hey, can we do another Indiana Jones before I'm gone? Like, probably not. Like, but like, I could just see him like asking to do something like this because
Like it's either this or like a
he
low
loves these
budget.
movies.
Like imagine it's
So
just a low budget fan film. Somebody films it in their backyard, or we get this.
yeah,
So
like so, I don't know. Either
I
that or
didn't
they were
need it.
talking it up. They were talking it up. And they had the budget for it, and he was like,
Well,
"Yes, green
you
light."
you gave it a chance. You watched them all, so
Yeah, I'd say for this one because of the cast and everything, I gave it a 6 out of 10. And then for Crystal Skull, it was a 7 out of 10 because I would consider that's
Oh,
average to me. And then,
yeah.
like I said, my favorite is Temple of Doom. I liked The Last
Mhm.
Crusade and Raiders, um, but they're not
Well,
all
and
bad.
I'm not as huge an indie fan as I am a Star Wars fan, or so. Yeah, for me, it used to be Temple of Doom, but I would say Raiders is first for me. Um, oh man, it's a toss up because I find myself like liking The Last Crusade more and more. Again, this is the one that I dismissed, that I didn't like back in the day. I'll probably have to watch it again, but probably Temple of Doom, then Last Crusade. I wasn't offended by Crystal Skull, but I set my expectations really low because I'd heard such bad things about it. When I saw it, I was like, it was okay, but I mean, I thought the head blowing up with the aliens was stupid. I thought the ants were dumb. I
I don't
mean,
say that, like, if the ending just like discourages you, I wouldn't say it's not worth the watch. Right now, you could probably watch it somewhere for free. I'm not
yeah.
going to encourage it, but like
But
for
Crystal
real, like
Skull was like the tribute send off movie in my view. It was fine. It didn't have to exist, but there it is. It wraps it up in a neat bow.
it does, it really does,
And this
and like
one is just give us more money.
the
Like,
refrigerator scene.
yeah, the
Yeah,
refrigerator scene was stupid, but
yeah, it was really bad.
I'm not gonna defend it, but I will say the absurd
I totally
contrivances,
forgot about that.
conveniences, like all throughout the movies, there's convenient things happening, but maybe that was a bridge too far. Maybe that was
No,
just
see, and that's why I said it's just goofy like that. I totally
like
forgot about
you
that
can't
part.
you can't survive a fall from an airplane into the mountains in a raft. Like that doesn't work either. But yeah, the fact that he's just getting thrown like miles inside a fridge by a nuclear
He
blast
just gets up.
just because it's lined with lead. Yeah, he's a little bruised, but otherwise he's okay. It's like no, he's dead. His
You're,
body is
you
is
are a
mush.
meat popsicle. that's,
It
that's
made me think he was playing his grandfather from Transformers. Was waiting for him to find the
oh
cube. See, I don't know. I've used to find Shia annoying, and yeah, you learn more about his life, and it's like, wow, he really took a lot of wrong paths and had a lot of problems. So, I mean, some of it
yeah.
he did to himself, but yeah,
Anyway,
still,
like I said,
still,
to
they
to
they
to
they crushed his character. Yeah.
to give a to finalize, um, I'd say they're all worth a watch. And as far as Dial of Destiny goes, I think it's exclusively in theaters. I would say wait. If you want to at least watch it, it'll probably be free on Disney Plus at some point in time. So you're not wasting anything except for time. And really, if that's what you value the most, fine. But I would at least recommend it as a watch. It's got a better ending than Skull. Than Crystal Skull, at least in my opinion.
Well, several
And
people were saying though Dial of Destiny as a whole was better than Crystal Skull. But you're just saying just the
well, that
ending.
might be. Hey, that might be true in some people's cases. I
Mhm.
don't like I said, this is a movie to me that I didn't think needed to happen. So, like I said, in the previous movie, like I said, Crystal Skull, I think was more enjoyable. It didn't almost make me fall asleep.
What about the humor? Was the humor as good? Was it like over the top? Did it just not land?
Sometimes it was okay. Sometimes it just missed its mark. Like I think we talked about
Like
this
I heard
before.
there's
There's a
old
scene
man joke.
where him and
Yeah.
Phoebe are like, I think it's like the Middle East or something like that. I can't remember where they are. It's like right after she was like bidding off the dial, and like um the police are chasing them, and Indy goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, stop! Everybody, just put your guns down. We can work this out." And like they all put their guns down, and they like have surprised looks on their faces. And he's like relieved. He's like, "Woof," He's like, "I'm glad we could work. I'm glad we could talk this out or whatever." And like it's facing them. The camera is facing them, and behind them is like a big group of dudes with guns, and like you're just supposed to automatically know who that is. So the joke is that the mob is behind them,
Ah,
and
they showed
so
this in the trailer, but yeah, you didn't have the
yeah,
context.
so like that to me the context kind of hits off the mark, but I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, so just in to finalize this, they were okay. They were
Yeah.
the newer ones were okay.
Do you
Moving on.
feel like? Oh, sorry. One last thing. That
Oh,
was
go
really
ahead.
great. Yeah, I gotta ask. So do you think a lot of the anger towards Crystal Skull and the Dial of Destiny is maybe more attributable to just having like all those decades of good memories and then all of a sudden just dropping that on you
I
versus
don't know.
just it's a mediocre installment?
I think that's dependent on the person. Like for me, like I said, Star Wars was a good chunk of my childhood, and a lot of people, I compare it with like Star Wars, right? If I just walked into Star Wars now, I would still probably dislike the sequels, but they wouldn't be as. I'd probably be more tolerable of them than if.
So it enhances it one way or the other.
Yeah, you kind of got to look at it with like a fresh mindset, and it's really hard when you've grown up
Yeah.
with them.
Oh yeah.
Um, so like
But
I don't know.
with not with this franchise, but with some other franchises, I've watched like the second movie in the series and then gone back to watch the first, and I go, "Whoa, this is a much better movie." So it is
Oh
possible.
yeah, we so
It's
like
not just
with
nostalgia goggles. Yeah.
Jurassic Park, we were talking about that because like the newer ones, like the what was it, Jurassic World,
Yeah.
like that's
Jurassic
something
World,
that
Fallen
set the
Kingdom, and
standard, right?
Dominion.
So
Yeah.
it's set
I
the
just saw
standard, and
Dominion.
we're used to movies that bring just nostalgia back. Like those are movies that are perfect for setting that tone. They're just like, oh, check out all these characters we brought back. Didn't that make you
Bill and
feel
Ted
good?
face the music. The
And then
Matrix
like
Resurrections.
and I watched those and I was like really bored and I was like, oh man, these like they're not. I don't find them horrible. They're dull. They're movies I
It,
probably
it's
won't ever
only
watch again.
it's only good because it reminds you that the good movie exists.
Yeah, and like to me, a good movie is supposed to be a movie that you'll come back to watch. It's not a
Yeah.
movie that like it's just good for one great experience and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be memorable. Like I'll probably go back and watch Temple of Doom more than once. Um,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
will
watch Last
probably not.
Crusade next opportunity.
Yeah, I will probably not go back and watch Child of Destiny for a long unless I'm planning to binge watch all of them again. It will not be. It's not a memorable movie. It's not a movie that
Don't
I'm
touch
going to be
that
like,
dial of
yeah,
destiny.
yeah. So um, if I want to watch Jurassic Park, I will watch the first one and then that's it.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
I came back to watch The Lost World, which I didn't mind the second movie.
I
Um,
watched that recently. Well, so I got to say this. I'm sorry. I know you got a lot of good things to say. Over the 4th of July holiday, I rewatched The Lost World with my parents, and I hadn't seen it since it was on VHS. And I was actually like, this was pretty entertaining. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but compared to what came later, man, a lot more quality there. I'm just saying.
I think the only horrible quality about The Lost World to me was its CGI was a bit off par compared to some movies
Yeah,
at the time.
occasionally.
But like besides
Notice
that,
notice how different Jeff Goldblum's character is.
yeah.
But
Look,
but the fact that he's got a daughter and he's like trying to be a
yeah.
family man, it's like, okay, I could buy that he's a little less quirky, a little
But
more focused.
like I said, I feel like these movies, these newer ones, like you watch them and then you go back and you watch like the second, third movie and you're like, this is like
Diminishing returns.
it's diminishing return. It's like watching them, you're like, wow, at least there was effort. Like you just see effort. Like
Effort,
it's
yeah.
it's like they weren't great when they came out, but at least somebody put fucking effort into those movies. Like these ones are like just
AI generated.
return trash. Yeah, like it's just weird. So
Before ChatGPT existed, they were AI in these movies. Just
I
phoning it
can't.
in. Well, I heard Jurassic Park 3 didn't have a script. But I guess
Whoa,
that's not that uncommon. I guess Lethal Weapon 4 didn't either. But some movies it's just like they're like whatever.
just
I guess
phoning
the
it
opposite
in.
is you have like, 8 writers, 13 writers. Some of these movies they just get like just edited to death.
Writing is my passion.
Oh, same with Highlander. First one is the only one. The rest is garbage. The series was okay. Yeah, and
Oh,
the
okay.
series has its own.
So
But that's
speaking
another.
of ignoring a series, I also revisited Alien, which I'm. This is a series that I don't really speak about, but I'm about as passionate as Star Wars. On.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy the Alien movies.
Yep.
Alien being Alien and Aliens. Nothing
Those
else.
are, and they're so different from one another, but they're both amazing films.
So
One's a horror movie, one's a war movie, action.
Die Harder and Die Hard with a Vengeance were decent, but the following films were not up to par. See, I only saw. Yeah, I haven't seen Die Harder in so long, and I've only seen
I've
Die
seen them
Hard with a
all.
Vengeance once.
The only one I really liked was the first Die Hard. Like, and I've gone back and forth, and it's just like, nope, the first one's the best. And
But
I like Bruce Willis. I liked him with Sybil Shepherd in Moonlighting,
oh god,
and
Rottweiler.
he's
Really?
been in a lot of good movies.
You haven't seen Aliens yet? Oh man. Game over, man. Game
Game over.
over. Oh,
Why don't
there's
you put
so
her
many.
in charge?
Yeah, there's so many great lines from that movie. Oh man.
You ever been mistaken for a man? No, have you? No. He was so good in that. I mean, there's so many memorable like lines, and the action's great. The suitmation, the animatronics for the aliens. Oh yeah, okay.
Dude.
Go. Just take it. I'm just gonna
So
all your time.
okay, so I rewatched Alien twice. Once this week, or no, prior to this week, and then the week before, and just just because I fell in love. I've always loved that movie. It's what horror defined itself in the late 70s, early 80s. Um, like you watch it now, and I don't know, like the original one might not be as scary now, but like imagine like being a teenager in that time. Like there wasn't a lot besides like I think slasher movies. There wasn't a lot of like sci-fi horror around that time, and
Well, you'd gone from it was
it
Hitchcock was gone, so you
so
just had the slasher movies. The suspense film was needing to make a comeback,
yeah, and
and
it
they brought
was
it to you in a sci-fi package. It was like, what the hell is this?
and just the use of water and like to kind of simulate space effects because I noticed that a lot, especially the ending when she like is like the spoilers to anybody who hasn't seen it. I'm pretty sure everybody here has, but like um, when she's pulling the thrusters or activating the thrusters to blow the alien out, you see like a ripple effect, and it to me it's just water, right? But like um,
Ah,
it's I believe supposed to simulate like like space or some form of like not engine effect, but like a debris effect. The space just like kind of a ripple effect, but it makes it look great with the shot that they had because it's just a light that they had for the thruster, and then like they have those water droplets coming in your way. And in the next movie, they had a lot more effects, and I don't know if it was budget or not. Like I said, I'm not a guy who goes deep diving into movies. I just watch them and I just notice the quality. But
yeah.
using what you have and
Yes.
going 100% with it, you can. It still makes the movie memorable. So,
Absolutely.
especially with like the android, how how cheesy the effects were, but like
Yeah.
you could
Now they can do it
everything is
perfect.
yeah everything was still immersive to me until you get to the part where they had to simulate because she was trying to hack into the android with its head cut off, so they had to use like a doll. But like besides that, it's
Yeah.
yeah
Spaghetti and
it's
milk. Spaghetti and
yeah
milk.
yeah that's what yeah, so it's just
But it
one of those
worked.
things where it's
You
yeah,
believed it.
so
He's like, oh, he's gonna kill her by shoving a magazine down her throat.
they're gagging her to death.
Yeah, it
But
was just like, dang, it's extreme. Yeah.
yeah, but just the plot. You get to that point, and it gets me every time. She gets to that point where she's talking to the computer, and it's telling
Mother.
her the directive of the
Yep.
science officer, and she like loses her fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
She's not
I take
G.I. Jane. She's just a space
no,
trucker, and
yeah,
it's
and
like,
that's
what
it.
the hell? The company just threw me to the wolves. Just
The classic effects are some of the best. People just aren't creative anymore. No, they're not. And
yeah.
I like I said, I think the best use of movie effects is when you can combine both in our modern day. But back then, you didn't really have CGI as much.
You
So
found the
you really
tallest,
had to.
skinniest stuntman you could find, and then you coated him in KY jelly, and you shoved him into an alien costume. Yeah.
Indeed. And yeah, so with Aliens, it's I wouldn't say campy, but it's got a really good mixture of action and goofiness at the beginning, and then it kind of launches you into like suspense.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, I wouldn't say these movies are too. For me, they're not super scary anymore. They're just like cool to watch. um, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
my daughter walked in on a one coming down. My daughter is 7 now. My oldest is 7 now. She just had her birthday
Oh,
this month, but
she's
um,
Newt's
she
age.
was yeah, she was like 6, and she got lost in it. And I told her I don't usually mind unless it gets to like a gory part or like those chest burster parts. I tend to
Oh
like want her to kind of avoid because she starts
gosh,
asking questions.
you remember the
So
part where Ripley like is like, okay, Newt, you need to leave the room. Like that's the signal for the parents to be like, okay,
yeah, yeah. So
get
it's
the
like
real kids out of the room.
that was around the time when like the alien was like picking up the Marines and stuff like that. So like she comes down,
Yeah,
and I was like, look, I was like, here's your warning, like and
can have nightmares.
she definitely was freaked out. Yeah. So Um, but
No
that was the
real
thing is like
monsters,
she does the
not
same
real
thing
ones,
I did
but there are.
as a kid. Is she like stays there? It's like watching a train wreck. She's like just
Yeah,
horrified, like
yep.
eyes wide open. And I was like, this is
Uh,
either gonna build character, or I'm gonna end up having to talk you down at night. No, it's
yeah.
okay. You're fine. And there's no such thing. You'll be okay. But um, yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, at the
It,
end, it's like, is it okay to go to sleep now? Yes,
yeah.
yes it is, or whatever she says to her.
But this, yeah, the same formula every movie. There's always an alien on the ship.
Yeah, but this is
It's
where it
never it's
started. Like
never
before this,
over.
it was fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh,
But anyway, getting
what do you think? What do you think? I like Aliens a little bit better than Alien, but that's maybe because I saw it first.
I like
And I'm
Alien
more of an
more.
action guy. You like
Um,
Alien more? Okay.
if you're talking about like in a movie sense, I
In a
like
movie sense,
I like
yeah.
Alien more. One, because of this fucking cat. This cat never gets enough screen time. And I swear to God, when I was a teenager and I rewatched these movies all the time, we'd drink and we'd blame the cat for everything.
Yeah. Well, and back
Jonesy
then
was
it
like
wasn't
Jonesy would have
it
like
was
these overhead
every horror movie.
shots where like he
Hmm.
watched the first death in that movie, and like it was like he's plotted the whole thing. That cat was behind it all. So
Well, yeah, I was thinking my theory when I was watching the movie for the first time was the alien is inside the cat. Like that's what I was thinking. And I was like, "Oh, she's gonna get the cat back, and then it's gonna be like, because you didn't know the rules of the like how small can the alien be? Like, I mean,
yeah,
anything. Right?
but
What are the
like
rules? Now
that
it's just like, oh, it goes from this one to this one. All the video games and all that stuff.
yeah, that
But yeah,
cat's the true hero though, and like not to mention the fact, but like um it was just it's a good movie, right? There's one alien. You're on a ship in space. There's really no other way out except for the escape pod, and even then, you don't know if you're making it out alive. So it's kind of a true like horror, like sci-fi horror. As for aliens, was they put them on a planet, you know, you had Marines and stuff. So for me, it was if you're talking about like which one I think was crafted better, um, horror wise, I preferred Alien. But they're both really great movies. It's really hard to choose. But here, the real reason I wanted to talk about this was I got to see Alien 3 and Resurrection for the first time.
I was gonna
So,
say I'm sorry, but I know what came after those movies too.
oh yeah, what was it like? No, because you got Alien versus Predator and stuff after that.
Yeah,
Which
one
I
and
would just
two,
say
and
are
then
which are like cheesy. They're just wasn't the second AVP like direct to DVD. I never ever saw that one either. So
something like
it
that. It was just a straight up slasher movie that happened to have aliens in it, in my opinion.
yeah.
Very
So
very forgettable.
that's another one that I
But
probably need to just see
Prometheus,
just to give my opinion.
Prometheus, and Alien Covenant.
Ah yes, okay. Yeah, because those I haven't seen those in a while, but yeah,
Listen,
Prometheus is supposed to
my
be like
my
an origin story.
opinion, Alien 3, I think is just still very dark and depressing. Like it almost didn't
Alien
have to
3
be.
doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's a mess too. But
It's a it's a horrible
Alien
mess.
Resurrection is like a comic book come to life. Like I didn't take it very seriously. It's kind of cheesy. It's got like we got these colorful characters and like weird one-liners. And
And to me, and to me, Alien
Winona Ryder,
Resurrection,
yeah, it's weird.
Alien Resurrection is like if the
Doesn't take
Matrix
itself too
met
seriously.
Alien or something like that. It's very edgy, like
Stylized,
90s. Yeah,
yeah, over
like
the top,
it's very over the top. But
yeah,
at least to me, it makes
but
some
not in a
sort of
like
sense.
cool
Like,
Matrix way. It's just kind of its own.
yeah,
If it were its own movie, it's like, okay, sure, I could kind of buy that. But the fact that it's falling on the heels of these great films, it's like,
yeah. Well, it's that they were both just huge money makers, and not to mention the fact that they both met
oh
their
yeah,
own development hell, both in video game and in movie sense. Which I can give both off right now. Like the movie, the reason it made almost no sense was the fact that it went through what 5 years of script writing and directing hell, like to the point to where they fucked over Michael Bean, and
yep.
they went with Vincent Ward's script, which was god awful. No offense to the man, but
Was
I
not
don't know
to
if it
all.
was time or whatever. But like, look, man, you want to write a script that takes place right after Aliens and robs the great ending. You pretty much
Yeah,
waste your time if you're watching Alien 3. You just wasted what 4 hours of your life watching Alien and Aliens, because like she pretty much restarts everything she ever happened. She crash lands, everybody died, and
yeah,
there you have it. Like we're back to square one.
yep.
So
So it's like Han, Luke, and Leia are partying on the Ewok planet, and then like they all catch on fire and get killed. Only
no, it's
see
like
3PO's
it's like
left. Like
it's like
what?
Han, Luke, and Leia are partying on the Ewok planet, and all of a sudden there's a second fucking Death Star that appears out of the wreckage of the first one. Oh
It
wait, that
blows them up.
happened already, but there was a time gap.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
and
It
then it
wasn't
just
just
blows
immediately.
up. It just blows up Endor. Like that's pretty
Yep.
much what happens here. Is like it's immediate
Re-
bad ending
but
for
it's not a
plot.
reset button. It's just like a nuke. It's a nuclear option.
Yeah, so like Newt dies, and then like Michael Bean's character is just fucking dead.
Mhm.
In which Michael Bean's response was "fuck you." That would never happen to my character. Y'all can go fuck
Yeah.
yourselves. And if you want to use my character
Well,
reference, it's gonna cost you a lot of money.
and they did in Aliens Colonial Marines, but it was just shoehorned in there. So it's like, okay, he wakes up, he has this awesome adventure, goes back to sleep, and then he dies. It's like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, not to mention the fact that Colonial Marines is also not a great game, and on top of that, it brings back up Hadley's Hope, which I believe was blown up at the time.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
make any sense. But uh, yeah, I have the game. I play the co-op. I play the bug hunt. It's what I always wanted in an Alien game. But yeah, it
that's
leaves
why
a
I
lot.
recommend AVP,
Which
at
sloppy.
which is like it still includes the Predator, but at the same time,
Yeah,
you still get
any of the yeah.
like the newer one is less enjoyable than the older ones, but like I still play it. In fact, it's what I'm streaming tonight is AVP 2010. So,
Okay.
um, but
I
yeah,
like the
so
2001
I
AVP,
just cannot get it
even
to
though
work.
it's
Like
completely unbalanced. But it just very. It was so innovative at the time, and I still have nostalgia playing it.
I tried to get it to work last night. It would not work. It does not work on my
Oh,
system. It's
oh, that's
due
rough.
to incompatibility, so I have to find a mod for it that gets it to work. But
You need a
um,
Voodoo one to get it to work. Or
yeah,
no, it was like an ATI. You had to have there was like a certain video card you had to have at the time. Yeah, it's been patched anyway.
but
So Alien.
um,
So
Alien
and
3
and
just didn't
Ellen
make
Rip
sense.
Ellen Ripley, what a
So
great character. Like I
yeah,
was
and
thinking,
so the beginning sucked. The ending didn't make sense to me, based off the fact
mhm.
that like you had that alien stuck in her chest, and she was asking for people to kill her, and nobody seemed to want to do that. They just wanted to kill the current
Well,
alien on board.
I
Um,
I was bringing this up and I hadn't really thought hard about it, but when I watch those movies and you've always got a character going, "Oh, kill me," and they're like, "What?" And then the alien bursts out. It's like I always thought it was just, oh, they're just in so much pain, that's why they're saying it. But then I was thinking, oh, are they thinking that somehow like by killing the person, the alien doesn't come out of you? Like, is that what happens? Like when the aliens still come out? But it's never really explained, is it?
I don't know per
It's just
se.
kind of like that,
Like I
oh,
said,
something
I've always
something
read that
crazy is
it's
about to happen.
it's depending on how you kill the person. So, like I said, incineration I think kills them both. But there was one instance in a video game where like they shot the person, and while the incubation was still happening, it kills the alien. But if they're already like if they're already inside, then no, they just
You're
hatch.
just like, oh, I'm feeling kind of hungry, and then you shoot the guy. What? But
But
in Resurrection, they figured out how to get the alien out of you without killing you.
yeah, because I think that
And
happened to
there's a
Ripley's
deleted
character.
scene. Sorry, I'm going to get off track, but there's a deleted scene for the first Alien where one of the guys, I forget his name, he's like, "Why don't you freeze him? Why aren't you freezing him?" And like they're just ignoring him. It's like, oh, and they freeze him in the fourth movie. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
kind of forgot about that part. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't mind Resurrection as much. I just don't understand why they needed Ripley to be a character.
yeah, it's
Um,
like I want my character to be killed off. I'm done with the story. Okay, well you're back, but you're playing a different character that just happens to look like you and is a clone of you. So she's a
yes,
hybrid alien.
yeah, and
And
she's
I
like
mean,
superhuman and stuff. Like
she
so,
she
the
looked like
only thing
she looked like she had fun with the role. I don't know, but I mean, she was like kind of like, I don't know,
I
mischievous,
thought originally she didn't want to be in anymore after three, but whatever.
contractually obligated,
The
maybe.
one thing I could think of was because she'd be pushing 50 at that time, but the uh, the one thing I could say about Resurrection was the death of the human hybrid alien was pretty fucking gruesome.
Yeah, we're
I
just
was
like,
like
oh,
sitting there, I was sitting there
we've got
going,
all
"Oh,
this
that's kind of
gore left
awesome."
over. We got all this gore left over. Quick, we got to use it all up in the last few minutes here. Like,
Yeah, because yeah, like all
suck
that
through
screeching and
space.
stuff. It's like,
Yeah, and you're supposed to feel sorry for the alien, but people are like laughing because it's so over the top.
money talks. It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, the Alien 3 video games were kind of fun, even though they barely acknowledged the movie they were based on.
Oh, speaking of which, so I said this. I said this when we were talking. Like Tywin Lannister, the guy. I can't remember his actual name, but
From
here I can
Game of
actually look
Thrones.
that up. Yeah,
I know
he plays
who
Tywin.
you mean. Okay.
Um, yeah, but I want to actually I want to get his name. Hold on. Just give me like two seconds.
Right. Cast.
Charles is it's Charles Dance, I believe. Um,
Charles Xavier.
so he's in Alien 3 for like 45 minutes, and he appears to be a
It's good
possible
acting.
main character. Yeah, he does really good, and then ends up getting fucking killed off right after he breaks down his entire character arc, which is a huge fucking like annoyance to me.
And
Like
I forgot
he
how
appears to be a
abruptly.
possible yeah, he appears to be a possible love interest too, because like him and Ripley are kind of like flirting with each other and whatnot, and then like she like gets injured and he's like treating her. He's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you how I got this tattoo," and like he like talks to her about how he used to be a prisoner and that like the reason he didn't leave is because he connects with everybody, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, what's that behind you?" And you just get gutsed out, and then he's dead. And like, that's it. That's it. So the character you're supposed to
Gore!
be connecting
Gore!
with is gone. And like,
So once
granted,
again, just like the beginning, it's like, oh, you made an attachment. Well, they're dead
well, yeah, but like, once again, you can
abruptly.
connect with characters that die, but it makes no fucking sense unless you're running down the clock on a movie that you would
Yeah.
do that. Like,
It
at
just
least to
feels
me, it
really
just doesn't
cheap.
make sense.
It's a cheap like punch. It's a sucker punch to the gut, and not in like a cool like artistic way. It's just weird.
Well, I was confused. I was confused more in shock. I was like, what the hell? Like, I literally got up off the couch and I was like, what the hell? Like, why? Like, for what reason did you just kill off a possible character that, like, because there's only two real main characters in that movie, and it's Ripley and that guy. So if Ripley or if if Sigourney Weaver wanted to be killed off, she should be the one who dies.
Mhm.
But she does.
Well, the preacher guy is kind of a character, but yeah, I mean,
Don't make friends with Ripley. No, for real, man. Because like literally, it's she's the only one who makes it ever, and for some weird reason, she's got like thick as hell plot armor. Like
yeah,
everybody else in that
that's the
fucking
fault
ship
of
died, but that
that's the
alien
fault of the
spider like walked
franchise.
over her. It walked over her thing. Went nope, and I went to kill everybody else. Like
Yeah, Well, in the original movie, she was just one of the group of space truckers. I mean, she wasn't like anybody special. She wasn't the captain. She wasn't the
Nope.
science officer. You know,
If wasn't his
he
name
wasn't the
Parker?
babe.
It was no Parker was the black guy. What was the captain's name? Fuck. Why am
Uh,
I blanking out?
shoot, I'm blanking out too. What was his name? Some fan he turned
Dallas.
out
It's
to be
Dallas, right?
Dallas. Dang it!
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like something like
So
Texan or something. Hey
no, it
Tex,
wasn't. Yeah, so it's Dallas.
Fort Worth.
Dallas
No,
dies like pretty early in the film too, but like at that
yeah,
point, it's a shocker. It's more of a shocker than it is like
yeah,
something that makes you go, "What the fuck?" Like
yeah,
so. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, if I remember right, he dies prior with the flamethrower. Yeah, because he ends up getting killed. Okay, yeah, but
It's
like
getting closer
it's
and closer and closer, and it's like you can't see where it is, and then yeah,
speaking of Alien, I remember you play a DLC in Isolation with them, and I actually enjoyed that DLC.
I have isolation. I've only played a little bit of it though. I knew I was playing it wrong. I'm like, I've got the flamethrower. I'm going to take the alien out, and it's like, no, no, you're not. It's not that type of game.
No, it's not. Like in the original game, the flamethrower only like makes it go away for a little bit,
Right.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't like kill it or anything. So
Yeah. The first
like
movie, the mystery of the alien was much more palpable. It's like we don't know what it's capable of, and they're not soldiers. They're just trying to figure it out.
RoboCop, like the original RoboCop movie.
I'd buy that for $1.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's so
Like with
gruesome. Like if you
like with
see
like with
the
Red
original
Foreman.
with the
With
guy from the '70s show.
yeah, Red Foreman.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, I liked RoboCop. I was more of a fan of RoboCop when I was a kid, which is kind of funny considering the
Oh
fact of
yeah.
how like
Well, they made
how
RoboCop 3. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
it's
like the
Kurtwood
concept of
Smith.
the concept of the metal guy with the gun was really cool. So they're like, fine, we'll make a movie for kids. We'll make a toy line and all this stuff. It was a satirical, yeah, over the top comic book movie.
Yeah, I was a pretty decent fan of RoboCop as a kid. I used to own like the games on Sega.
Robert.
There was RoboCop versus the
Oh yeah,
Terminator, which was like the big one, and I remember having the
RoboCop
comic
3.
book.
Yeah,
So
I remember the arcade game. It's like drop it, but like you don't have your gun yet. You're just like telling guys to drop it, like with your fists, and then finally you're like, thank you for
yeah,
cooperation.
that's right. It was Peter. So Peter Weller and
Peter
Kurtwood
Weller.
Smith, and then you had Lisa Gibbons. So yeah, I did enjoy that. But yeah, I was really into RoboCop as a kid because I liked the idea of like android cops, and I also
Yeah,
liked the
the
idea of
idea of it.
battling the Terminator as RoboCop because they like I said they had Robo. I used to borrow the game RoboCop versus the Terminator, and then
Yeah,
I got into the comic book. There's a comic called
yeah.
RoboCop versus the Terminator.
See, some of that stuff just works better as a video game or a comic book than a movie.
That game was fucking hard, dude. um, hold
It's
on.
pretty
There
gory
was
too for the time.
yeah,
But of course, that just made you want to play it even more. Just like these, like, oh, a scary movie. Like this is a
kids
challenge. It's
didn't get
like
censored as much as they
kid,
do now.
you don't know what you're in for. Trust me. It's like no, I got to see it. I got to see it.
Let me
You can
see.
have
Hold on.
nightmares.
Yeah, this is Genesis. Hold on here. So this is
Give me Genesis.
courtesy of Nintendo Complete.
Oh, that's a good channel.
Yeah, this is what it looked like.
Shout out to Nintendo Complete on YouTube. Yeah, there we
I
go.
remember this.
Look at that, just bloody explosions.
Well, like you couldn't get through one level without taking like a hit most of the time.
Probably fun with the game. Probably fun with the Game Genie. Just
Yeah.
give yourself decent. I mean, listen, I saw this guy play through Batman Returns. I'm like, how the hell are you doing this?
Me?
It's like, yeah. I never had the patience for Batman
Okay,
Returns.
but Batman Returns was like my jam. That was a game that I played a lot growing up.
I was so frustrated, I gave up. But the Batmobile parts are awesome. But the platforming, I was just like, no, I can't do this unless I've got cheats on or something.
Yeah, see, this
But
is
yeah,
a game.
you spent
Yeah, look
60
at all
bucks
that
on a
blood.
game. Yeah, everywhere. That's how you got people. That's how you got people interested back then. It's just like, here's a bunch of just guts everywhere.
Man, I haven't played this game in a long time. I remember because I used to live in a like old house back when
Protect the innocent, uphold the
I was
law.
like 8 years old, and my my main room was down in the basement. Like I had a room upstairs, but like my games and stuff were down in the basement, and I'd be really scared to go down there at night. But like if I had this on, which was weird, I would just have this on in like the dark, and I would just be playing RoboCop. It was either this or was it Out of This World that I play on the Sega as well. So
that was
another hard ass game because it didn't tell you anything of what to do.
Nope. Trial and error. Yeah, I never beat it, but I would like to someday.
It's hard as hell. So
and it was also called Another World. Another World,
yes.
Out of This World. Yeah.
Which
and then what was the sequel, the spiritual sequel? Flashback?
I think so, but I never got a chance to play it. I should probably emulate it someday.
That's a good game. It's very different, but it's got like the same art style. Some of the same mechanics. Yeah, good movies. Yeah, Clarence Boddicker was the character. Yeah, I don't know why I'm just like I'm forgetting like the names of stuff tonight. I guess it's been a long week. But yeah, there's some classic entertainment out there. So I'm really glad to hear that you got to drinking a soda. That's so iconic.
I thought this stuff was like breakthrough. These graphics were awesome.
It was.
It's like, man.
Yep. Groundbreaking, and it was so simple too. I mean, you don't have a HUD, you don't have lives, no score. It's just figure it out. Just do the puzzle.
It really was. Down to the very start of the game,
immersion.
like you were just watching a cutscene, and then all of a sudden you just put in the game, and I thought I was still in the cutscene, and I died.
I was like, oh, I'm in water. What the hell? Oh, I can start swimming. Like, huh. Yeah.
And it literally is. It's straight up trial and error, down to the very beginning.
But it sucks you in, draws you in. It kind of reminds you of like Flash animation, like really good Flash animation.
It's very good.
Yeah. Check it out. But yeah, so Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Alien, Die Hard.
Only thing I could give as far as that goes
Jurassic
is
Park.
It's Star Wars. But I tell the folks at home to look up if they're interested. There is I guess Ahsoka has started. I have no interest in watching it.
Snips back.
But
she already had her heroic death though.
Which I guess they're gonna bring Leia into it, I guess. Which that's gonna be interesting. Which makes me like wonder what the fuck.
Yeah. I like Princess Leia, but I think the direction of her character in the sequels was just all wrong.
And then
even when she was still alive.
There are supposed to be 2 new Star Wars movies. If I remember right, let me verify that, and then we can move to HeroQuest.
Don't care. I love Star Wars, and I always will, but the new stuff, man, you really lost me, Lucasfilm. You really lost me. And if the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles are somewhere online with old Indy, because they erased old Indy from the DVD versions. Can you believe it? With the eye patch and the hook.
So James Mangold,
that was the reason to watch it.
It's the guy who made the new Indy, right? It's James Mangold, right? I believe. I guess he is also helping make 3 new live-action Star Wars films.
I will say though that I'm just starting the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and it's kind of disjointed because you've got like these lighthearted, like educational adventures that little kid Indy has, and then you've got like these like angsty like teenage Indy like adventures like side by side. but still. And then you got grouchy old eye patch Indiana Jones telling kids, I was here back in my day, telling stories.
Also, we won't get anything until 2026 probably for films.
For Star Wars.
But yeah, and
I mean, take your
hopefully
time. If you're gonna screw it up this badly, like, and give us so much crap. Sorry, I've many rant casts ago. I said my piece.
it's just I can only keep going for so long because I feel like we're kind of in the minority of it at this point. Either that or they're just gonna do what they're gonna do, right?
People love the
Um,
slop they're pitching. So
yeah,
are
well, no, it's
John
just either that
Favreau
or
and Dave Filoni, are
Disney's
they
gonna
still?
do what they're gonna do. I mean, they're in the works with it, but it's just one of those things where there's a big community that supports it regardless, and on top of that, the people
Yeah,
who
our own
dislike it,
worst
like
enemy.
us, we're kind of in the minority that like is mixed in with the people
Yeah,
who aren't doing it any favors, like the people
yeah.
who provide hate speech
It
and
it's
who hate it in the wrong way,
a
and
toxic fan. Yeah.
yeah, and like so I feel like
Well, and I
regardless,
want to
even
just
if
qualify. I want to qualify that because when people say the toxic fandom, like Star Wars has like tens of millions of fans, so there's no way to like talk about. Oh, thanks, Polsky. Thanks for that. Yeah, there's no way to talk about all of them. But I've said this with HeroQuest, like as a company, you don't have to care about the fanboys on either side. So like the super negative, like never you can never impress them people, you can just write them off. The loyalists who will just buy everything no matter what, like no matter how crappy it is, you can write them off. It's the people in the middle that you need to court. So if Star Wars is okay enough that the middle people are buying it, then they'll just keep on doing it.
it's kids more. I've talked about this before, dude. It's children.
Okay.
So, like I said,
Okay.
Disney's gonna do what Disney's gonna do at this point, and like I said, kids are more their target audience,
Well,
which is
and do you
something
think
that
it's
Lucas was gonna do to begin with.
yeah, the original trilogy stuff though, I always thought, okay, they're trying to drag the old fans back, but the old fans are bringing their kids to see it and saying,
Well, I
"Oh,
mean, at
this
the
is
end of the
real Star
day,
Wars." Oh, no, it's not.
there are people who do like the new stuff, and they're going to Disney World with their kids to do it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, if it were up to me and I had the money,
voting
I'd
with your
probably
wallet.
go. Like, so it's yeah, it's one of those things where
I wouldn't.
there's there's something
I mean, I'd see
there's something
Coruscant. I wouldn't see, Tatooine. Like
well, no,
it's
but
just
like you
desert.
know what I mean. Like uh there are some parts about it that I'd still to go take my kids to see. Like Galaxy's Edge was something I wanted to go see at one point in time before the fact that it was constantly busy to the point to where like I don't want to wait 4 days to go see it. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, I
But
like
like
going to like carnivals and stuff, but like a theme park like that, corporate and like over the top and like just I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. But I guess for a lot of people, I mean, that's your dream. Like when you're a kid, you're like, man, when I turn 12, we're going to Disney
it's
World. It's
once
going to be
again it's
awesome.
coming from a guy with 3 children though. It's not about me anymore
Yeah,
on that front.
yeah,
It's about my kids,
that's
and
true.
I'm
That's I
enjoying
know.
it while I'm there. So it's
They're
gonna be
having
like one of those
fun.
things.
You're having fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
So,
totally.
but
It's like,
at the
okay,
same
well, you know
time,
what? The Teletubbies kind of suck, but you guys like them, so yay,
I'm not going to
Teletubbies.
subject my kids to the crappy parts either. So, and I'm also not going to
There's
wait four
some limit.
days and pay
Yeah,
like $1,200 or whatever to go to a place where I'm just going to be sitting waiting in line. So, like I said, we there's tons of things that you can do in the world. There's a lot of fun that you can have that doesn't involve Star Wars or Star Wars related media, and the stuff that is involved, um, that you can see that's Star Wars related. There's plenty of it out there.
yep,
Don't let FOMO get to you because there's so much Star Wars out there that you can find, expanded universe or otherwise, that you can enjoy it. It's still
yeah.
enjoyable. I do that
True.
on the daily. There's games, there's comic books, there's old movies. Um, I have now just come to terms with the fact that like I'm just not interested. I'm the newer stuff. There's so much. It's so saturated, or it's so like spread out, and there's so much of it. I can't keep track of it anymore.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Disney has like this thing that's going to wear out very quickly, especially with Marvel. It's already showing its thing with Marvel. It has a thing that's it's we've talked about before. It's fatigue, and eventually the people who are working on it are going to wear out. The fans are going to wear out of it because they're going to want new shit. And
I would have.
um,
Sorry. I would have gone to Universal Studios too. Actually, my family we were thinking about doing it. For some reason, we stopped. But yeah, just those rides were cheesy as hell. But I'm sure I would have had a blast anyway.
I've never been, so
They've shot
I've
videos of them, so they're like, "Oh, we're just going on this joyride, and oh shit, it's King Kong!" Ah, and then everyone's like laughing, you know.
but
Just funny stuff.
a lot of the times I see something on like I said, and I shouldn't use Twitter as like the base example, but a lot of the times I'm on there to post something like, "Hey, I'm live." A lot of the times I see people who just put crap in there saying, "Oh, what's your favorite Star Wars something?" And it's all like clickbait. It's all people are like, "Well,
Hey,
of course you know what you're like. You're using the sequels as like you know, a thing. So like a thing to trap people or to to start that's gonna end in like a big Twitter argument. So um I guess to end off before we get into the HeroQuest Power Hour, um enjoy it. Star Wars at one time
woo!
was meant to be enjoyable. I'm pretty sure there are people out there now who are making content for it that is meant to be enjoyable. Um,
Hmm.
don't let um, Kennedy get under your skin because
Yeah,
she's in everything. She's in the new Indiana Jones. She's in Willow. She's got her fingers in everything, and
yeah,
um, all hating on it right now is going to do is just make her laugh her ass to the bank. So you know, it's
sadly.
it doesn't do anything other than saying,
Yeah.
"Look, I'm not interested in her bullshit,
If
and
you
I'm
if
gonna
you if
continue
you
not to be
buy if
interested
you
in her
buy a
bullshit."
ticket with your middle finger up the whole time, you still bought a ticket. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my thing: is I don't wish ill will upon anybody, but if you happen to get hit by a truck,
Dang. Listen. If certain people get fired, they're gonna have plenty of money
oh,
to
she's not gonna get
retire.
fired. It's not
Golden parachute.
happening. I don't
Every
think it.
week there's a video, a clickbait video where people are like, is Kathleen Kennedy fired? Is
Once
she
again,
about to be fired?
she
Like
knows. She knows. There are
she'll
people who
never be
probably tell
fired.
her about that every day. She knows she's not under the radar.
Yeah.
Once again, she's secured her ass in Lucasfilm, and I'm pretty sure at least if,
Handpicked
if there's
successor.
if there's an inkling that she could be fired right now, there's a way she's gonna prevent it. And like I said, my thing is I don't wish ill will upon you, but if something happens, I'm not. I'm hoping that whoever takes your seat next is a lot more kind than you are.
The
So
Rantcast does not endorse violence against CEOs. Disclaimer.
nope. I'm not gonna say poor you. That's all I'm gonna say. Is I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say poor you.
Well,
You
let somebody,
you
yeah,
know,
let somebody that actually cares about what you're doing take it, or
well,
just let it go. But no, like the
no, she's
line
not.
from
It's just the fact that I feel like she's either micromanaging
packaged it and
a
you,
lot
you
or
sold it and you
yeah, it's
never
just
thought of if you should, just because you could.
Star Wars Theory keeps
Yeah,
posting clickbaits. He does. He does. Like I said, I have a love hate relationship with that guy because like it's one of
it's
those
smart.
things where like he he's really cool on his YouTube stuff, but he also does his job, which is to stir content.
Hmm.
He just makes content. He's at that point in his YouTube career
The
where
gadfly.
just it's constant black and white content. So I can't blame him because you've got to meet the algorithm standards and you've got to do all that stuff. But like you gotta pick what you watch with people like that anymore.
Yeah.
And people who are devoted to stuff like that, you're kind of a fool for buying into a
I
lot of that
I
stuff.
will
So
I will I will I'm not sure about Star Wars Theory, but there's like certain channels that I'll watch where it's like I know what they're gonna say 99% of the time, and it's like I know it's entertainment, and I watch it as entertainment. So it's like if I watch a movie that really disappointed me, I'll just look up somebody's review, and it's like I know they're gonna rip it apart because that's what I need right now. Like I could do that myself, but just hearing somebody just like
see,
tear it up and down and make fun of it.
I want a good opinion that like breaks down the movie for
Oh
the
yeah,
positives and negatives. Like
yeah.
breaks down something for its positives and like I said,
Well, yeah.
there has
There's
been
there's
some good
movies.
stuff from Disney, but there's also been some real rotten stuff too. So like
Yeah. Well, and then there's been a
it's
lot of mediocre stuff too. It's like, okay, this, there's nothing really wrong with it. It just doesn't really do anything for me. It's just
quit
there.
watching him. Yeah, I kind of died on watching him too, but like my main reason, and like I said, nothing bad about the guy. It's the fact that when I first started watching him, he did a fan trailer or a fan movie for Vader, um, which was awesome. And then he does like these fanfics, which are kind of awesome too. But then like after that, he's kind of like just kind of rode the wind on a lot of stuff. Like he'll do reactions and everything, but then he does like these really um then he'll do like these clickbait videos now. So like he's kind of like I said, he's kind of riding the YouTube algorithm, right? He's gotten popular.
Playing the
So
game.
and then he's also once again, I think the big reason for that is he's trying to fund his sequel to that, which once again he's been writing for a very long time.
Hmm.
Money
Interesting.
makes people crazy, and
Yes.
like I said, the guy says he's just a normal dude, but then the next video he makes, he's sporting his $60,000 model figures of Ahsoka or whatever that, or he'll go and take a trip and look at those things, and I'm like, dude, a normal guy for me isn't going up to a museum looking at like the rarest Star Wars stuff. That is exceptional. That's privileged. That's something that not a lot of people get to do. So I no longer put you on the same pedestal as me, like, bro. And you're driving a sports car, but like the guy drives like a racing sports car almost. Like the guy makes a lot of
Well,
fucking money.
this is the kind of
So,
guy that like I'd look sideways at him if he cried over a movie. But then as soon as someone makes fun of him, like some corporate guy makes fun of him over it, then I'm back on his side again. Like,
but that did happen though.
yeah, it did happen.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say, were you saying
The
that to
same
kind
thing
of?
the same thing happened. Somebody was like, was it Nerdrotic? They were like, "Oh, Nerdrotic is such a jerk," and I'm like, "He's an American hero or something." Like, Star Wars Theory is a national treasure. By the way, National Treasure, not that bad of a film. I saw that recently too, the first one.
Like I said, I like the guy. I think that he's cool. I just don't think that he
He's
puts himself on
not
a
all that.
pedestal as everybody else, but at the same time,
Yeah.
not everybody drives
But-
sports cars and owns as much money as him. And I'm not
So
saying
maybe
that like I'm not saying I'm
don't take
deserving of
him
that. I
too
don't need
serious.
that. It's just the fact that I don't I I would put myself on a more realer perspective and say, look, I'm I'm glad to be where I'm at, which he has stated. So like once again, it's kind of a thing where I think being on the YouTube popular spectrum, you kind of huff your own farts sometimes,
You make
and
you make some
you know
compromises.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, there has been some like posts where there are people who come up to him and like, hey dude, I love your stuff, you're really cool, and he's really nice to people. He's not a dick. He doesn't like like there have been some genuine stuff where he's been caught like accidentally on camera, and he's been like really cool about it. He's not like he's not a huge dick bag about stuff. So um that you
He's
can
just playing
say
he's just playing the game.
he's trying to humble brag without being humble. I feel like sometimes, yes. It's one of those
Just trying to
things
play
where
the game.
I think that he's trying to remain original while being a rich dude. And like it's one of those things where you can't do that. I don't feel like you can do that. You can relate to people, but like once again, if I was making like
Oh,
I don't
like
know how
Elon
much he
Musk. It's
makes,
like you can try to
but
be a regular guy, but yeah, it's not quite
but
gonna
like
work.
I feel like at the same time, you don't need to think you're special, but at the same time, you also need to realize that if you make a fuck ton of money, not everybody in your chat makes a fuck ton of money. So like you
Mhm.
can't be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just like you." Hey, speaking of which, I'm going to go down to the
My money
Lucas
there.
Ranch or the Skywalker Ranch and pay a one-time fee of $2,500 and go look at all the crap in there or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not everybody gets reservations and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm saying is like it's something like do something ridiculous because like you can do that. Other people can't. So do the
Yeah, they just
privileged
live
things because you're a
vicariously
content
through.
creator.
He's a Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Wars fan. He's got $1 million. I don't, but at least I can watch him and
He's
wish I
the
had $1 million.
he's the people Star Wars fan is what I'm saying. So it's one of those things.
Yes,
But
man.
yeah, I'm not sub to him either though anymore. I'm kind of like on JoeKozier's level. I'm kind of like where I was like, yeah, I kind of feel like
We're just
when
we're,
people are
we're
kind of just
a bunch
doing
of
their
haters.
job, it's
Yeah,
it's Yeah, it's like they
Everybody
don't
starts
need
from
my
somewhere,
sub.
and we're not. Yeah, yeah, they don't. We're not trying to hate on people just because they're successful or popular or whatever. But it's just like, yeah, just don't take yourself too seriously, and maybe don't take those guys too seriously.
I'll
Don't
name
take us
drop him
very
though.
seriously.
Like
Yeah,
I'll name, and like I said, he's done some really cool stuff. It's just one of those things where if you can find a complacent way to do your job, it's
phone it in.
whatever. Yeah, just phone it
Yeah.
in. So, um, anyway, let's go ahead and
Well,
we
that's all
will.
the time we got. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no.
Rickest. Yeah.
We'll begin with the.
Oh man. Wait. Go back. Go back.
Oh, am I going back?
Back. Go back
Okay.
one. This is the spoiler. This is what everybody's been waiting for. So we have
Wait,
confirmed
what is this?
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings Lego crossover HeroQuest, according to GameStop, the premier game distribution company, where you can get Madden for 50% off if you pre-order. No, for some reason, yeah, they threw
Welcome to
this
the
image.
GameStop where we sell Lego figures on your HeroQuest box. This is
I'm like, okay,
StrangeBus. How can I help?
so here this man is true and real. Yeah, so HeroQuest now has cars and motorcycles and laser cannons.
Is this like an error or
Kung fu.
something? Or are we being real?
Yeah,
Because this is.
they put up the wrong image. So yeah, go to the next page.
Oh,
This
okay.
obviously a screw up. Okay, so there's a German My Little Pony HeroQuest on Amazon that's been there for like a year or more. And it's like clearly they put the wrong label and it's just they've never fixed it. Okay, this is all computer generated. So apparently there was a okay, I just want to start off by saying Rise of the Dread Moon is really coming out in 2 days. And Hasbro through Avalon Hill has declared that the 15th of July is HeroQuest Day. And they've somehow selected or partnered up with 3 YouTubers who are each going to do like a stream. And unfortunately, some of their streams are going to coincide with my HeroQuest game on Saturday. How inconsiderate is that? So, but anyway, they're going to be spoiling the free quest for Rise of the Dread Moon, which is called Nightfall. So a guy called Shelfside is going to be doing it. And actually, I've actually seen a couple of his videos. He's pretty entertaining, way more popular than us. But anyway, yeah. And then Paula, forget her last name. She'll be doing the Ancient Waters Within, which is the first quest of Rise of the Dread Moon. So they're going to be spoiling it. But I suspect there was some type of review embargo that they had with these people. But see, like we haven't signed anything. So we're not part of any like agreement. So we can say whatever we want about this stuff. I'm not worried about losing access. Like we have a great community and we're just reporting on stuff. But I was kind of wondering because there's just a little bit of drama, just a tad of drama, and just I was trying to figure out what was happening because I knew Amalgamash was avoiding spoilers. And I was like, okay, did he see something or maybe somebody said something? I mean, but it's like, okay, I can respect whatever you're going to do. And Elviler had his awesome article, which you should all check out. But I mean, he had a little, almost an apology, which again, I can respect. It was saying like, okay, you guys did all this work to try to like keep this new quest pack secret. Because as we know, with the Frozen Horror, it came out a whole month early, and it's like they lost control of the marketing. It just was out there, and it's like, oh shoot, people already have it, and we can't do unboxings because like people already have it. And so anyway, some fans leaked. Okay, here's what I heard happened. So there were some stores in the UK and in France that just had copies, and they weren't supposed to, but they sold them like to fans, and those fans took
Oh,
photos and posted them online. So their official review of all the stuff, I mean, they just revealed a few little tidbits here and there officially, and then on the 15th they're going to spoil it all. But I think some content creators are like, shoot, this was going to be my big moment, and now like the fans have shared it. So, but see, I don't look at it that way. I don't think it's like we're being like disrespectful to the company. I mean, these are fans that bought the game, they paid for it, they didn't steal it, and they're just showing what it looks like. And this helps them because it's saying like this is what the product is. I mean, not everybody's going to buy this sight unseen. They want to know what's in the box. What's in the box? And they want to know like what are the game mechanics? Because there's people that are kind of concerned like is this still the Hero Quest that I remember playing? Has it been changed a lot? Is it too complicated? And honestly, after seeing this, I'm not worried that the game is like ruined. I know I spent a whole stream talking about how, well, if this flops, this will really hurt the whole HeroQuest franchise reboot because they're not going to be as inclined to make new content. But I mean, look at these miniatures. They look fine. But what really matters is in the context for all these things. What are the quests going to be like? Are they going to be over the top, insanely difficult like Frozen Horror? I mean, it's taken us a whole year to get through it. We're almost through it. Is it going to be like Mage of the Mirror where it's like really broken and they have to fix it? Elvila says, I'll be at a family thing on HeroQuest Day. It's going to feel so awkward ignoring everyone. Yeah, don't do that. See, the thing is, all the stuff that they're going to show you on the 15th is going to be recorded. The free quest called Nightfall, which is a prequel, like a beginning to Rise of the Dread Moon. It's like takes place between Mage of the Mirror, which I haven't played. I've only played like the first quest. And then Rise of the Dread Moon takes place. But all that stuff, like the free quest will be released right after they stream it. So then I'm like, okay, so they're going to spoil the whole quest and then say, here you go. Like, okay, so I'm just going to immediately take this and rewrite it. Like I'm going to rearrange it like Zargon's supposed to do anyway, because everybody's going to know like how it ends. And then the first quest is going to be spoiled, so we're going to rearrange that one. But these are pictures that fans, Vincento was his name, 1985, he posted these on Reddit, and fans just shared it, which of course they will. And the French version was posted on Facebook. So again, fans shared it. I'm grateful. Like the rule that we have on HeroQuest fans, I think is pretty similar to Yield In. Like we're not trying to like piss off the company, but at the same time, like we're gonna report on this stuff. So like what he's doing here, he's just taking photos of his stuff that he paid for, and just showing you this is what you get, you know, and make up your own mind. So like if somebody does a video where they're just like flipping through the pages of the quest book, like showing you like here's the general idea, you know, you can get a sense of like how difficult are these quests, what are some of the game mechanics that I can expect. Like that's fine. Like what we're not doing is we're not like just copying the whole thing and saying here, have it for free and now you could just pirate it. Like that's not what it is. And if you try to do that, we're going to remove it. But like if you spoil like a few quests, like go for it. And the thing is, the company's going to do it themselves anyway. Like they're going to post a high quality PDF, just like they have all the others on the customer care Hasbro page, where you can just see the whole thing. And once it's out there, okay, when you're Zargon and you're playing with people from the community, you're going to change the quests anyway. But we've seen this. So what have they introduced for the new mechanics? That room that you're seeing that has like the fur on the ground and the desk and everything. So some of these quests, you're not going to be able to visit the alchemist shop and the armory in between, but they get around it by having like a hideout in the middle of the quest that you're going to come upon and go in this room, and you get to restore your health by rolling a red die. Okay, so it's like, okay, so at maximum you're going to get 6 back, and you can apply it to body points, mind points, or both. You can also do a free treasure search that's safe in that room. There's no monsters in there. There's also that desk as an alchemist bench. So the new mechanic is you search the treasure deck, and it'll be interesting to see how they do this in the playtests, because the public playtests, because what if they don't get any of the new cards? Like that'll be kind of embarrassing. But anyway, there's new treasure cards, and each of these treasure cards is like a reagent, a component. So you find this like object, and it'll say, take this to an alchemist bench. So instead of searching for treasure, you just take it to the alchemist bench, and you could transform it into one of 3 potions. So there's an opportunity cost. It's like I can either eat this flower that gives me 1 body point back, or I can turn it into a potion of dexterity or a potion of whatever, a heroic brew. So it's like, okay, you got to choose. But in order to do that, you either have to be the wizard, because he can do it for free, or you have to buy one of these reagent kits that's like 400 gold coins. So between quests, you got to buy this kit that you can use 5 times. So you can craft 5 different potions with it. So it's like adding complexity in the sense that when you search for treasure, you're not going to get the benefit immediately. You're going to have to take it somewhere in the quest. Like, where's the alchemist bench going to be? Well, it's definitely going to be in the hideout, but there might be another one, just a piece of furniture randomly in the quest somewhere else. Okay, so I thought that's a pretty good system. There's like 20 cards in the alchemy deck. So when you actually craft the potion, you pull out that card and now you've got it for that quest. But sometimes you get a random potion card. So it makes me think of like the homebrew rules that we've had, where you go to the alchemist bench and you just draw a random potion. They've added some steps to it, but it's not, I don't think it really overturns the game, because most of the stuff is happening in between the adventures. There's a little break. But maybe the break is not between quests, it's still like a lull in the action. So at most, what it's going to do is just make those turns go a little longer, because you're playing with some kids and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. When you give a kid 4 choices, it's like, does he have choice paralysis? It's like, well, I could do this, this, or this, or this. And the adventure will be different. Now, those golden shields that you see, those are the reputation tokens. And there's also a number 5, so I guess that's a counter for 5. I'm pretty sure this is all correct. I mean, we haven't seen the actual quest pages, so any of those quest pages could have notes that modify these, but these are the general rules. This stream is for Zargon's eyes only. Well, it's the basic rules. So when you complete a quest, whether it's that introductory quest or any later ones, you get a reputation token. So you build these up. And the thing is, like, I guess there'll be instances where Zargon's like, do you want to cash in your token or not? Or like, do you have a token or not? And if you say yes, it's like a choose your own adventure. There's one path versus another. We don't know what it actually does. Does it make like one path is harder than the other? Or does something bad happen, if you don't do it? Because you can also take the reputation token and cash it in for 250 gold coins, but you've got to spend it immediately. Like, you can't like get change back. All sales are final. Because it's called the underground market. So when you're in that hideout, you can buy stuff, but you're limited to the armory from the game system, and you're limited to the equipment cards that are in this particular pack. So no going to other quest packs to buy stuff, and the potions they give you are a mixture of the potions from the other adventures plus some new ones. So it's like a remix. Best of greatest hits. The other thing you can use those tokens for is you can cash it in to buy a mercenary. And there's only 4 mercenaries this time. They're elves, but they're like identical to the ones from Frozen Horror. You got your crossbow, your halberd, your scout who can disarm traps, and then you got your swordsman. Jacer says it's more of a credit than a cash out. Yeah, sure, you could call it that. Like, you're trading it, you're bartering for what you want. But anyway, if you trade in the token, you get the mercenary for free until they're dead or they quit. Because I guess you could dismiss a mercenary if you want to. Whereas before, it's like, oh, I got to pay 100 gold coins, and at the end of the quest, I got to, to keep him for the next one, I got to pay another 100. So you got to figure out, is it worth it to you? Now this thing, we were like, what the heck is this? This is called the, what was it? I've already forgotten it. It's the torture rack, but it's a magical thing. It's an arcane prison, and it has this like Jello mold looking guy inside it, which I think is kind of interesting. So they wouldn't give us a torture rack, but they give us this guy getting tortured magically, which is so much more kid friendly, I guess. It's 14 and up, but it's still the same game. I'm surprised Incarmi didn't get you as part of this. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know all the ins and outs of this, Joe Kozier, but I have a feeling that, like, okay, first of all, these people have like thousands of subs, so they have a greater reach than I do. So I can understand that. And like the shelf side guy, he's done HeroQuest videos before that are way more popular than any videos I've done. So fair enough. Plus, it's like he might have had to sign some type of agreement. So it's like, okay, I'm not really wanting to do that sort of thing. So there's that. Plus, who knows? I mean, they may have had a lot of people, but thank you for that thought. So this is the Dread Cultist, and I didn't really have a problem with this. It's like, okay, when they give us 4 characters, like, why are they giving us new miniatures? Well, obviously new miniatures are cool. People like to paint them, some people do. But what can you do with this? Well, you've only got 1 Dread Sorcerer in the box normally. Here's 4 more with preset stats. Well, why do this? Well, this way you could have a Dread Sorcerer in the quest plus 4 more like smaller sorcerers at the same time without running out of miniatures, and it looks cool. Plus, okay, he's only got 1 body point. I mean, he's like a skeleton, except he's not undead. He's got dread lights, and Channel Dread. So those are the 2 new chaos spells. Channel Dread is that spell where if there's another monster that has that same spell and they're both together, their attack is stronger. So their magical attack is stronger. So they cluster together. So it's an interesting like dynamic strategy. So it's not just, oh, he's a skeleton with a couple spells. So I think that's fine. And I like the pose because it reminds me of the old Chaos Warlock from the original game.
More minis
Another
is
thing,
always a good thing.
yeah, more minis. Well, another thing is, why bother putting this stuff on a card? Like, you can just put it in the quest. Like, you could have the same figure, but the monster could be different every adventure. This frees up stuff that Zargon doesn't have to explain. All he has to do is put the card down, and you immediately know everything about this character. And he can focus on each quest having unique notes. So I see that as like a way to like make it more efficient, because HeroQuest is all about like you can get into the game quickly, you can learn it quickly, you don't have to do a lot of prep. So go back just one. Sorry. Oh no, yeah, that's fine. Okay, this assassin, like 10 movement squares, diagonal attacks, 5 attack, 3 defend, 2 body,
All
3
right.
mind. I mean, it's all they did was rearrange the numbers and you come up with a new character. Like, that's fine. I mean, it looks like she's skipping rope. She's kind of goofy, but they've got an elven theme going for this Rise of the Dread Moon. Yeah, that's fine. But the point I was trying to make in my other stream, and people gave me a lot of flack for it. But hey, always bored, never boring. Made the same point. Did people give him a hard time? Uh, but anyway, yeah. If you just rearrange the numbers, there's only so many combinations before you start repeating yourself. So I like the fact when they give these monsters like interesting gimmicks, like the Magus Guard. Like, it's just a Chaos Warrior with some spells. Like, I didn't think that was very original. And yes, Jacer makes a fine point. It does look very similar to the female Chaos Warrior from the Mythic tier. I mean, the figure is gray. It's a little chunkier. It's got the boob plate, but it's the same pose. Like, it's got the sword out to the side, the shield in front, and the cape billowing back. And it's got the horns on the helmet instead of the plume. So, I mean, yeah, it's a reminiscent design. I don't think it's a replacement for releasing that. I mean, I hope that Mythic stuff does come out, but I was thinking this is kind of boring. Like, what does this Magus Guard do? I mean, if you're not going to paint him, it's like, okay, well, you could have 4 Chaos Warriors in a room and 2 of these guys leading the charge with their magic. That's kind of cool because you only get 4 Chaos Warriors. And yeah, you already have diagonal attacking goblins in the companion app. So yeah, what my point I was trying to make is I'm not saying this is a terrible character. I'm not going to throw this in the trash or rewrite it completely. Well, I might rewrite it, but what I'm saying is like the Spectre and the Wraith and even the Dread Cultists were so interesting with the gimmicks. Like, it seems like they put a lot of effort into it. Whereas with this one, it's just like, yeah, Chaos Warrior, he moves 1 extra square and throw a couple spells on him. And not even that interesting of spells. It's like Ball of Flame, Tempest are pretty run of the mill. So, I mean, it'll add to the difficulty, but it could have been more interesting. So, anyway. And the Guardian Knight, I mean, it almost feels like he doesn't belong in this one. I mean, the storyline does mention, okay, Sir Ragnar is a Guardian Knight now, and he's a traitor. And he's leading some renegade elves, I guess, in a second attempt to overthrow the Elven Kingdom. And so your mentor is sending you there to disrupt Zargon's forces. And the knight, I guess, is there. But I get the impression that they're not, as before, they're not giving you any direction on how to use the knight. It's like, he's just there. So should I swap the barbarian out for this guy if I want to? You know, is that how it works? But I think that sort of conservative approach is the Avalon Hill guys saying, like, we're not messing with your hero quest. Like, you play it the way you want to. Like, we're not getting rid of one of the classic heroes so that you're forced to play with this guy. You know, think if they just said, oh yeah, the dwarf, he just sat this one out and the knight is there the whole time. Yeah, but the channel dread with 8 possible casters. Yeah, that's true, because we don't know how these quests are laid out. Maybe they'll give you a couple specters at a time, or maybe they'll be like rooms full of these guys. I hope it's not like Frozen Horror and Mage of the Mirror, where they just threw like so many monsters. It's like, okay, this is a guaranteed 4-hour quest. Like, not everybody wants to do that. Like, have a meat grinder gauntlet. I mean, seriously, because the amount of tweaking I had to do to make Frozen Horror like playable and fun, was a lot. And I mean, it was a fun challenge, but it's like, dang, you know, it's like
Hey,
going one to 100.
everybody likes Kurgan's meat grinder though.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yep, check it out, Jedi Academy. Okay, so let's see. Let me comments. More minis is always a good thing. Yeah, I agree, but I think it's the total package. I think it matters what they put on the cards, and it matters what they put in the quests. Because otherwise, they might as well just give us a box of miniatures. They can be like Reaper and just sell us miniatures, and we can just make it up ourselves. Like there's a sizable number of people who want HeroQuest as an easy to get into, easy to play fantasy game, and that's all it is. Like they maybe don't even want to make their own stuff. Like we're hardcore. We're hardcore. We make stuff. We have armies of miniatures, but not everybody is us. Not everybody will be us. So that's why it matters that they put effort into this stuff. But for all I know, the quests are so awesome, and the way that they use the Magus guards, it's going to be fine. And I'm worried for no reason. But they chose to do it this way, where they give us this drip of information, and so of course we're going to interpret it out of context. So what are we supposed to say? We're supposed to say, "Oh yeah, this is great. I'm so glad that he has Ball, Flame, and Tempest. That's amazing." You know, he's totally different than the Chaos Warrior, which was already like, just give us more Chaos Warriors. What's wrong with that? Anyway, Dread Wraith. So we thought this was a boss character, and that's obviously computer generated. I mean, it doesn't look like glass, like really, but it's a big monster, takes up 2 squares. It's ethereal, but it's not undead. So you can't just nuke this guy with holy water and kill him. But the ethereal monsters, like normally you have to roll skulls to hit somebody, so it's a 50% chance per die to get a skull. And they got to roll a black shield to defend, which is 1 in 6. So the monsters die pretty quick. Whereas these ethereal monsters, you've got to roll black shields to get hits. So see the difference? 1 in 6 chance that you're going to roll a hit on him. So he's going to be really tough to hurt because that rule does not apply to spells or artifacts. So magical weapons will do normal damage. So you've got the Spirit Blade, Orc's Bane, Ice Queen's Spear, Fortune's Longsword, Phantom Blade, stuff like that. Those will be great. So it's like, okay, that's a cool way to like bring those back in, because otherwise it's just like, well, do I use the 3-die attack or the 3-die attack? Well, no, you use the 3-die attack that's actually going to cut through this guy's defenses. So that's cool. But look at that, 5 body points. That's like a Yeti. The Yeti. 6 attack dice, 4 defend dice. But there's only one of these figures. So maybe we face him once, maybe we face him more than once. And I swear that's Sinestro's face there on the card. So that was the elf witch that you fight at the end of Mage of the Mirror. Spoilers. Elvira says, that's what I've been thinking. They originally planned a mini for Sir Ragnar, but because fans complained about not getting the knight, they made a last-minute decision to switch it to the knight instead. That's a good theory, but the thing that confuses me is, why did they put them both on the box? Like, both in the painting? Like, yeah, it's like, oh, we can only have one red figure in the box. Like, what's that about? I don't understand. So yeah, I wish that we would have gotten Sir Ragnar. And I know I sound like a hypocrite. I sound like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, because it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, you don't need a Sir Ragnar figure because you already have the Dread Sorcerer who can fill in for any character. Any unique character you have who's going to be in like one quest, a one-off, you just use that. But the fact that they gave us a Sir Ragnar, a unique Sir Ragnar exclusive figure in the Mythic tier, or in the Heroic tier, in the HasLab campaign, they gave us a unique Sir Ragnar figure, and they said the version of this character will not be available outside the HasLab campaign, implying that there were going to be other versions. That is true. You can look it up on archive.org. It's real. So when we saw this, I was like, oh, boom, they're going to knock out both fan desires and disappointments in one go. They're going to say, oh, you didn't get the Guardian Knight because it was a limited time GameStop exclusive? Boom, here he is. You get him again. Oh, you missed out on the HasLab campaign. You didn't get Sir Ragnar? Boom, here he is. But we're only getting one.
Missed that pre-order bonus.
Yeah, that pre-order bonus. But the thing is, it's like, you can give us, I don't know, it's like people want, it's like if you missed out on HeroQuest, like classic HeroQuest, like, oh, you can buy the remake, but what's the point? I mean, the sculpts are all different. The art is all different. You know, the people making it are not the same ones, but the mechanics of the games are the same. So it's like you're watching the Star Wars Special Edition versus the original. It's like it's different, but you're
Oof.
still watching. I know. Maybe that's a bad comparison.
That's a wacky comparison, my friend.
Yeah, but it's for a lot of people, let's be honest, for a lot of people it's close enough. It's like if you can't get the first one, you're still going to be pretty happy with the second one.
Okay.
So, it's like, okay, I didn't get the Guardian Knight, the original one, but I've got another Guardian Knight that I actually think looks cooler because he's got the helmet. Uh, and it's like if they had Sir Ragnar, it's like, okay, Prisoner Sir Ragnar would have been cool, but Knight Sir Ragnar would have been even cooler. You know, and it's not the same one, but the concept is there
Why
because you
didn't
can
they
homebrew it
include a Sir
yourself.
Ragnar figure? Because they show him on
Yeah,
the
go for it.
box.
Well, we don't know. They haven't said yet. And at Gen Con, I'm gonna ask them very nicely, very politely, in a very gentlemanly fashion, and they're gonna call security and get me out of there.
I was gonna say you sound like mildly hostile. I'm gonna ask them very
No,
nicely, very politely. Hey, why didn't you include a Sir Ragnar figure?
security. Got a crazed fan in here. Well, no, I mean, the thing is with these companies, like, there's only so much they can say with this stuff, and it's like you want to know the answers, but they're just not going to go there. And it's like, darn it, I want to know. I'm curious.
Well, I
Like
feel
I'm a
like you got
super
baited.
fan.
Like,
Yeah,
look, there's Sir Ragnar right on the box.
they faked you out.
I faked
To
you
be
out.
fair, though, if you turn the box around, they shows you the contents, and he's not there. So it's like, so he's just a concept, or they're. We all think that they're going to use another character for him. Like it's going to be the Dread Sorcerer or just a Chaos Warrior, and that's going to be him. Some people were saying, well, why not use the Guardian Knight? But then the question is, well, but what if somebody's playing him as one of the heroes? Then
Can
you're
you
going to be
3D
like,
print him?
but of course you can. There's 3D prints all over the place. Yeah. Well
I'd
kept
say like,
secret.
see if we can get like a community
Yeah, fan.
like kind of like a concept of him based off the box, and
The
just have it
people.
3D printed.
Yeah, Don Quixote. The people's Sir Ragnar.
There you go.
I don't know. I never wanted him to be a traitor, but he is in this story. Or is he? Dun dun dun.
Double agent.
Yeah. He was just trying to expose the
Oh
plan.
God, fuck that! Just brought back an indie thing.
Oh, I was gonna
Shit.
say Dark Empire, but okay.
No, the guy in Crystal. Is it Crystal Skull? No, it was
Oh,
the.
yeah,
See,
yeah. They did the double agent. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that.
I think that was Crystal Skull. But yeah, because
Sorry, they
he
got here
he
right before you did. I'm
he
sorry.
he turns tail on him and then says, "Oh no, I'm on your side." And at the end, turns tail on him again. It,
Stop it. It's
just
like Lex
stop.
Luthor and Superman 2. It's like, the guy always knew where he stood with you. You're honest. He's
Just
like,
shoot him.
I was with you the whole time.
Just shoot him already. Fuck.
Oh, you thought? No, Luthor, you poisonous snake. Okay. Let's see. Joe Koger says definitely need quality content to go with the minis and other stuff in the quest. Yeah, it's the total package. They can't just get away with. Again, I'm saying like you've got the hardcore lovers of the thing that'll just forgive everything. You can't appeal to those people. You got the haters who will not accept anything because it's different. You ignore them. It's the people in the middle who are like, oh, what's this game? Why should I buy this expansion? It's like, oh, this is going to inspire you with all these cool like ideas and mechanics that you can just take it and run with it. But you can still have fun just playing it straight out of the box, as opposed to, well, it's kind of a mess. I'm going to have to fix it. This looks like a lot of work. Like, I'll be honest with you. As much of a gamer as I am, like when I look at like D&D or Cyberpunk or some of these newer games, I'm like, this looks like a lot of homework. Like that's my first thought. As opposed to, oh man,
Oh.
I can't wait to like build this world. It's like, no, I want to get this game like as quickly to the table as possible. And yes, after I've learned the game and had fun with it and gotten obsessed with it, now I can start, because I want to put in the effort
I really
now.
don't
But at
understand why
first,
this
it's like,
hasn't become the more
yeah,
adult that like, because like I know people do D&D nights all the time, and it like
yeah.
one game takes forever to finish. Kosher says, like I said over Discord, the Witch Lord isn't on the cover. but there isn't
Isn't
a
a
mini
mini.
unless you got the mythic
You're
set.
right. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
However, I do want to say one thing. The original Chaos Warlock, which became the Dread Sorcerer mini, is a guy with his arms raised. He's wearing like a Skeletor type like outfit. He's got a big skull for a face. He's got a big like chaos helmet.
He-Man.
You Eternian fools. Yeah, he looks enough like the Witch Lord already that I can just forgive that. So yes, in the Mythic tier, they did release a Witch Lord figure, and mysteriously, yeah, people are not clamoring for him as much, and I think that's the reason. It's like if the Chaos Warlock looked already like Sir Ragnar, we'd be having the opposite. We'd be like, where the hell's the Witch Lord? Like, I want him. He's so cool. Yeah. So my thought is, I don't need that Mythic tier stuff. I got it. Okay. And I feel bad for the people who wanted it, who missed their chance because it was such a short campaign and it was not in every country and all this stuff. And now people are scalping it, and it's not even like the quality control isn't even as good as like the retail that you have, Josh. I mean, that is like much higher quality.
Yeah,
Like,
we took a look at like the prices
yeah.
of the mythic tier and stuff. It's
Well,
fucking
it's
ridiculous.
ridiculous. And in like the HeroQuest card game, it's like it's not even that good. It's just the fact that it's rare and people have FOMO and people know they can scalp it for anything. So destroy that, release it all in retail. So I say take all that mythic stuff, release it. Any way you can, release it, make your money, destroy the scalper stuff, appease the fans. That's what you need to do. So
I'm just
whatever
gonna say, hey, if you guys have mythic
you need
stuff,
to go
just
through.
keep it. Like,
Yeah.
don't. I
Well,
don't know.
play it.
Like, if it was me,
Play
yeah.
it.
So if it was me, I would just keep it because at that point in time, yeah, I understand trying to make a quick buck, but like some people are selling it for like ridiculous prices.
Thousands of dollars. Well, the
Yeah,
Guardian Knights were going for like $250 a pop. Like, and that was like
and
on the good side. And it's like
I
two
don't know about
miniatures,
you. I
12
don't know about
cards.
you, but if I bought something personally for somebody else, and I'm a guy who combs over stuff before I let somebody go, like if I saw what was in that box and I was like, yeah, I'm not paying you $7,000 or what ridiculous amount they want for
3D print
the
like 10 times this
yeah, I
amount.
could
I can
just like yeah, like no, you can go
Reaper
ahead and keep
Bones,
this. Like
Reaper Bones, like they have been re-releasing. So all those miniatures they had like printed from China for like $3. They're re-releasing them all like for $7 now. But like those miniatures are plastic and they're really really detailed and they're really durable and they're easy to paint and I love them and it sounds like I'm shilling for them, but like you could buy a set of those versus paying some scalper for this stuff and it's like
yeah.
just don't do
Not to
it.
dog the mythic tier set. I'm not saying that's like bad. I'm just saying like for the price that
Yeah.
scalpers want,
I'm
right?
just
Like
I'm
I'm
just
saying like
saying
it would be cool to
they should,
have, and that's what I'm saying to keep it because like it's still a part of HeroQuest history, but at the same
yes.
time, like don't get shilled for like the
Right.
price that some people want for that. It's
Wait,
ridiculous.
it would be better to put all that energy that you're doing pursuing some eBay sale. Put that energy into petitioning uh, Avalon Hill to get Hasbro to let them re-release this stuff. You know, and get other fans to like think about it and realize it and like get the interest going.
Have they ever
Because
released
yeah,
special editions of this stuff like at all besides the mythic tier? Like ever done like a special edition box?
no, they haven't. No, they haven't. It's just been, I mean, the game system that you have, that was just like a redesign because the original box was like hard to open and like the miniatures like were just really crammed in there. So now it's like easy because you know, you open the box up, you play it, you put it back in the box. Like you keep doing it. Like I do the weekly stream, it's a pain to try to do it. And my box is like ripping because it's so like tight in there.
They should do like a special
Oh,
edition box that comes with
they
like the
probably
expansions in them.
they probably will. But
Like
see,
that would be great.
I'm not saying it for me. I'm saying for the sake of the people that wanted that stuff. Even though you don't need two extra of every monster, that's like an
No,
alternate.
but like
But
a collector's edition box that
yeah,
like comes
give it
like for example, like, hear me out. Like something
mhm.
like
Like
comes
a
with the game
Monopoly.
system, all the current expansions in them, and it comes in a carrying case. It's not
Oh,
just
that'd
a
be sweet.
box, but it's a carrying case, so it can
Mobile
hold all your
gaming
miniatures.
platform.
It holds
Yeah,
all the, and then
now we're
like you
talking.
open it, and it opens like like it opens up both ways, right? So it's like suitcase style, and like
That would be sweet.
that way you've got your game board that can be held in it, and then you lift up the game board, and all your pieces are in there, and everything that you need is in there,
Yeah.
and it has an extra space for whatever future expansion comes in there. You can put that in there as well, and it's
Yep.
going to be pricey because it's made
For that.
nicely. It's made for that,
Yeah.
and it
Well,
carries everything in there.
and I can hear someone saying, "No, no, no, that's greedy. They shouldn't do that." But guess what? People are selling those boxes. Like you can buy those on Etsy and on Amazon. People are selling the foam that's like cut to like hold all the pieces. Like fans or companies are selling that stuff. Companies are selling dice in other colors. They're selling the miniatures that you want 3D printed. They're selling custom cards. And they've been pretty like tolerant of that stuff. They haven't like, done well, I guess a couple people have gotten C indeed, but because they were just copying this stuff just
Yeah.
outright. But I mean, it's like, okay, you can't call it HeroQuest. You got to call it something else, like Sunday Quest or
You know what I
you
put
know,
on my mantle? I put that on my
Hero
mantle. That
Adventures.
would be something that
Yeah,
had like a HeroQuest design on it, and it would
with
have
the
like it'd be like a
cease and
carrying
desist.
case,
Oh, I
and
thought
it'd
you were
be
gonna put the cease and desist letter on
no,
your
no,
mantle. It's like,
no, no,
hey,
no, no,
my thing
like
was so awesome, they had to shut me
no, but it
down.
was like something
Frame it.
like HeroQuest design. It's like a case, but it's got like this nice design on it. And it's got two latches on the top. You undo the latch, you open it, briefcase style, and like it's got all your stuff in there, and like it looks good. But like, not a lot of companies want to do that because it'd be a safe option, and that's why you'd have to do like a limited edition. But
Yeah,
like,
it's like those crowdfunding things where it's like it's there and it's gone.
come on, man, Hasbro has enough money to do stuff like that.
They do have enough money. Well, and I just
They
want to
own
say, like,
My Little Pony, man. Do you know how much revenue that ship pulls in?
Renegade Studios is doing My Little Pony versus Transformers, and they're also doing HeroScape. I wonder where this is leading. Think about it. Yeah, every faction. Yeah. So the other thing to keep in mind is it sounds like, I mean, if these guys are just acting, they're doing a pretty good job because they've convinced me that they're actual fans of HeroQuest, like the guys that are working on it, the Avalon Hill
Oh
people
yeah,
that we talked to. But they still work for a mega corporation that they've got to abide by. I don't know
I
if
answer
what
to
the
them.
budget is, and yeah, they're answerable, they're accountable, so they've got to do stuff that's profitable. The other thing is, we know they're making a board game, and they've got 3 projects, like 3 irons in the fire at a time, at least. So they can't just like, oh, fans are complaining about this, let's quickly like fix this. It's like, no, that was like 6 months ago. It's too late. We got to move on to the next thing. Like, so I get that part. I mean, they tried to do the day one patch with Frozen Horror. They gave us Into the Northlands. That was actually pretty cool that they did that. And they took the feedback and then they applied it to the next one, which was Mage of the Mirror. They had the changes in the box. And I remember Amalgamash was like, but I like the 10 body point ogres, and I kind of did too. But I mean, they took that into account. It's like they were fixing it for the majority of people. The hardcore people that wanted nothing changed was really small for that pack, really small.
So are we good on these pictures?
Yeah, I just want to
Okay.
acknowledge some of the things that were said. Yeah, you can keep cycling through. I know we've kind of covered those.
I'm gonna keep
So,
the front part in this one here. I'm just gonna get rid of
yeah, yeah.
the extra ones here
Okay,
real quick.
Sir Rags goes from Guardian Knight to Magus Guard, maybe. Well, the term Guardian Knights was used in Keller's Keep originally, but it wasn't explained what those were. And the heroes themselves become Imperial Knights after they defeat the Witch Lord. And when the remake of HeroQuest was made, they got rid of the Games Workshop stuff, so it's not the Empire anymore, it's the Realm. It's not the Emperor, it's the King. So they said you become Sovereign Knights, but they never explain what Sovereign Knights are. So whatever they are, I mean, I thought the point of the Guardian Knights is they were supposed to be bodyguards for the heroes. Like, that's what they were. Like, it's too dangerous to go alone, so take these guys with you. They're like super mercenaries. They're like awesome. They'll
It's
take a bullet
dangerous
for
to
you.
go alone. Take this.
Yeah, but then they're like, no, 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 they're evolving into something else. So maybe all the knights are guardian knights. I don't know. But HeroQuest, you could say it doesn't have a super deep story. I mean, it's basically Gandalf and Saruman, and it's basically good versus evil, chaos versus order. And yes, they're introducing little storylines here and there, and I don't know, maybe secrets, but a lot of it is just left to your imagination, and that's fine because the action takes place in each of these quests. You can just imagine your itty fantasy hero, going on an adventure, like the Goonies,
So
fighting orcs and stuff.
from what I know, because we were talking about Avalon Hill, Avalon Hill does mostly Hero Quest from what I've seen here. They do a lot
Well,
of betrayal games. They do Risk.
yeah, yeah.
They do Axis and Allies. Diplomacy is the other game I can see here. But besides
HeroScape.
that,
Well, that's going to
well,
Renegade
Heroescape.
Studios. So
But like
not
as far
anymore.
as games you can buy, there are 23 games. Most of this consists of Hero Quest, Risk, Axis and Allies, and Betrayal.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I feel
You
like
go to-
their biggest cash cow right now is Hero Quest. So I
could be.
can totally agree with you on this. Is the fact
I mean,
that
I don't know the numbers of Betrayal, but yeah, if you go to the Hasbro Pulse page, it's like brands: Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Avalon Hill.
yeah.
So,
So
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you want to count Lord of the Rings Risk or Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, I suppose.
Those sound pretty awesome.
But yeah.
But HeroQuest isn't for everyone. I mean, but it could be, because you could take HeroQuest here and you can wad up the rules and just insert, the version of D&D you like the best instead, and just use all these pieces to have your own adventure. Or you can take this and you can hack it down and you can use them as chess pieces. I don't know. You can do anything. But the thing in the box still matters. And I think so far it looks like this is going to be good. But the proof is in the pudding, or the proof of the pudding is in the eating, or whatever, however they say it. It's you got to get that hook. You got to get people in there with, this is a great adventure, and I want to play it, and I want to make more. Like, that's how
So,
you get people.
so before we finalize tonight, when are we setting up for a on-site
Oh man,
Rantcast Hero Quest game?
it's too bad you're not going to Gen Con with us. I know it's like
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
wish I can't.
Planning.
Next week I'm going to be in Oklahoma City, so I'll probably be doing a Rantcast from Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So
We gotta
um,
we gotta do like a Friday or maybe just instead of a Saturday. I would love to. I'm not sure when. But to
let's
summarize the
figure out a
comment,
weekend or something.
heck yeah, man, that'd be great. I can't wait. Yes. So Verg is right. I think them making good on the Guardian Knight is a good step towards like reaching out to fans, because that exclusive thing, it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I don't think the Mythic tier was as bad, but still there's some resentment, and we know Prophecy of Telor is the next one coming out. That's going to make some people happy, because it's like, I really wanted that and I can't get it. It's like, okay, it's coming to retail. Now you can have it. Sweet. Stephen Baker wrote a bunch of quests. So there's more work to be done. So they can continue to kind of like take that FOMO out of there and bring that stuff into retail. It's like, hey, you can relax. It's there. You can pay a normal price for it, and you can check it out. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. It's not required. It's just kind of an extra thing. And they'll continue to make these new adventures. So Joe Kozer says the Chaos Sorcerer was the filler for almost every special character. Yeah, he was. You proxied him for whatever the quest called for. Sometimes he was a good guy. Sometimes he was bad. Whatever. And yes, the orc with the notched sword. Yeah, so it's like sometimes the bad guy was an orc, so he used an orc. Sometimes he was a zombie. Sometimes he was a chaos warrior or a Fimir, which would be now an abomination. But when you put those extra miniatures in there, yeah, you don't have to use them. Like you think of Return of the Witch Lord, they give you a bunch of undead. And like almost all the monsters you fight in most of the quests are undead, but they give you a lot of them because you were going to be required to put a lot of them on the board at a time. But yeah, otherwise you're just like, okay, well, I've got 2 orcs, so every room is going to have 1 or 2 orcs in it, and hopefully you don't go too fast from room to room. Let's see. Joe Koder says, like I said in Discord, the Witch Lord is on the cover. Oh, sorry, we already covered that. Yeah, I think because he looks so much like the Witch Lord already. The real reason Sir Ragnar isn't included is because he has the same ending as the original UK story. They pulled the Ragnar mini. Oh man, that would be so terrible if they did that. They're like, well, you've accomplished your mission, and we caught Sir Ragnar, by the way. You know, he was hiding in a
Oh man.
ditch, and we hanged him. Justice has been done. Good job. It's like, what? It shows us fighting with him in this epic battle on the cover. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, he's just a pushover. It's like, oh no. He was hiding under the desk the whole time. He got shot by a random arrow. Good, whoever that was that got him. Good job. Yeah, that would be so disappointing. Because yeah, the original was just like, oh, by the way, he was a traitor, and by the way, he's dead. Joe Kojer says, I guess there's a mythic set on Mercari for over $1,000. Well, that's a bargain when you think about the prices people are charging. But think about it, $150 plus $30 shipping. That was the original price. Has the same ending. Well, I think the UK ending where Sir Ragnar was a traitor and was executed, spoilers, was out of the blue to be shocking. And I don't think it landed very well. So when the North American version was written, they just deleted that. They just ignored it. So we didn't know about it for 20 years until we like looked at the original version, like, what the hell? What happened? So them reusing that storyline but making it more interesting would be cool. I mean, people have already started speculating this prequel quest is called Nightfall, like the fall of a night. So maybe you find out why. Why did you do it? Well, I don't know. I just like doing stuff like that. Like, what? Like, I mean, there'll be some interest to draw you in. Like, okay, what was it? You know, was it money? Was it threats? You know, oh, they got my daughter. Sorry, got to do it. You know. So anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for contributing. I think this Rise of the Dread Moon, we'll find out soon. We'll find out in 2 days. I've thought that when they're doing all these spoilers, like some people are going to want to stay away. Like some people want to just see official spoilers. They don't want to see fan spoilers, which I mean, I guess I can respect that, but I mean, that's not me. Like, I don't care. You can spoil it for me because I'll remix it myself. I'll change it up. But some people are going to stay away from that stream, so they're going to play with us. Other people can't resist. Like, I want to see it live. I want to ask questions. Like, I can't imagine those people being on a stream, like, answering the spam of questions that people are going to be throwing at them while they're running a quest. I mean, I know they're bigger than us, so they could have a moderator, like, answering the questions. Like, I don't think it's going to be just somebody sitting by themselves at a table with the app. They're going to have their friends. They're going to be playing the game, and you're going to see it and want to buy it because of that. But we're still going to do our Saturday game this Saturday. HeroQuest fans, twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. We're still going to play, but I think we're going to start early. We're going to start earlier than we normally do, so maybe start at 4 instead of 6. That way we can get most of our playing done before people start bailing and going, oh, I got to check out the Dread Moon stuff. Because we can't do a live commentary. Yeah, we should do a watch party. So that means
That'd
we
be
can't
smart.
run ads. Okay, tell me about a watch party because I've never done that because I don't want to break copyright. So we can't do ads and we can't record it, right? It's just live. That's it. Is that how that works?
I
Because
mean,
otherwise they'd be like, you just ripped my entire stream off. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, probably. I mean, you have to look into
Save a,
that depending on whether or
save a
not they
few,
allow that.
save a few clips.
I'm
Just be like, what?
surprised. When does it really? It releases in 2 days, right? Are you going to be grabbing it?
Well, the problem is, like, it still says pre-order. All the websites still say pre-order, and I don't live in the UK or France, so I guess I'm just gonna order it whenever it becomes available. Like supposedly they're on the second or third wave. Like they've sold out and then they got more and then sold out again. Got more.
Okay.
So I might not get it till, I mean, they're saying like August 11th or September 18th. But
Yeah, you don't stream it, you just react to it. So
I
there's
just
two
heard
ways I
that.
think you could do it. If
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah, okay,
if it's a copyrighted stream, you're gonna have to just
I'm sure.
well, a lot of people just face cam themselves and they have like a timeline
What?
if it's like a
Ugh.
recorded thing. But yeah, you'll just react to it. The thing with Kurgan is unless he's showing off his Zargon costume,
That would be great. Well,
he's a mystery.
see, the Twitter Zargon is supposedly going to be tweeting, I guess, bad jokes all day long about Rise of the Dread Moon. And then these YouTubers, there's like 4 of them. So the first person is going to be, you can look at the schedule yourself, but the first person is going to be doing the Rescue of Sir Ragnar from the game system. The next person is going to be doing the Elven Prospector from Mage of the Mirror. Then they're going to do Nightfall, the prequel quest, which will be released at the end of the stream digitally. So people will be waiting to grab that, download it, even though you just saw the quest spoiled for you. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be like, oh, behind the screen, you just see the hero's view. And then the first quest of Rise of the Dread Moon will be the last thing, and that'll be happening at like 8 o'clock my time. So I'll be like right in the middle of my stream. So I'll be like, dang it. Like, okay, we'll take a little break. We'll go check them out, and then we'll come back.
Like a Viler said, you could just do your game and make a commentary about the stream, and people could multi-stream. They could have your stream and their stream up.
Yeah, play it. So I could be like just yelling at them, "You suck! You suck!" It's like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not jealous. You got your spot, and I'm happy for you. The thing is, like, the fact that we are the small people, you know, with our opinions, it's like we're closer to the fan community. I have no doubt that some of those people are serious HeroQuest fans. The other ones, maybe they're just like board game or crafting fans. Sure, they might have some awesome things to say and some cool ideas. So I'll give them a chance. Let's see. Instead of face cam, have your game running and make commentary about the stream. Multitask. Oh yeah, we'll be so distracted. So yeah, how about this? We'll start playing at 4, and at about 8 o'clock or whenever, because I've played the Rescue Sir Ragnar so many times, and the Elven Prospector is too far ahead. Like, I'm not gonna tune into that. No offense to those people, but Nightfall will definitely download it. The thing about the live streams though is, like, after the live stream's over, you can still watch it. Like, you just watch the VOD on YouTube. It's just that, why would you tune in? Because you want to be there when it happens, right? You want to ask questions and maybe have some moderator answer them. But I can't imagine them fielding questions while they're trying to play a quest. I mean, it takes like an hour or two to play, and they got to move. They got to move on. You know, it's not.
It just depends on how they set up the stream.
Yeah.
So.
Then again, I was thinking, well, are they going to do an actual honest to goodness playthrough, like beginning to end, like no total party kill? They're actually going to win, or is it going to be like a canned kind of like, oh well, what if this happens, and then just do like a little demo? You know what I mean? Could be pre-recorded.
Yeah, it could be
That's
pre-recorded.
true. That's
it's
true.
all how it's set up, man.
They could be answering questions while we're watching the recording of their game. That's true. And the thing is, if you're fans of these folks, these Knights Around the Table and the Meeple people and Shelfside and Paula, like, if you're fans of them already, like, you're just gonna tune in for them. Like, oh, and what do they have to say about HeroQuest? This is cool. They'll get a lot of subs and follows for it, probably. And it's not like, but yeah, we just can't compete with that. So party dies in 10 minutes. Well, that was a short stream. Well, yeah, but I mean, that could be a tease. It could be like, hey, sometimes you lose. Like, if that were me and I was doing that, but see, there's so much damage control. Like, what if it's a total disaster? They're like, okay, let's try this again. And oh, I just got a suggestion in my ear. Okay, give them more potions. Okay, let's try this that way. And then they play it and go, oh, see? So what did we learn today? Because Avalon Hill, they're not idiots. They play tested this stuff, right? They had like focus groups and they did all this extra work and they kept quiet and they did their best to like avoid, learn from the mistakes of the past, avoid those pitfalls. But who knows? And these are all experienced gamers, but yeah, you get a bunch of bad dice rolls. You split the party, and sure enough, you get dead heroes. Like, well, we got 45 minutes left. Let's just restart, or let's skip to the end. Oh, everyone got teleported to the boss room. Okay, let's try this again. Sargon can do that. I mean, something wild could happen, or it could be just very, very typical. I mean, I'll be interested when we go to Gen Con to see what people do in the HeroQuest sessions, because it could be that way. It could be just people playing the game very woodenly by the book, and it's just like, oh, we died again. We died again. This kind of sucks. Or just people just free flowing, just doing whatever, and it's like, wait a minute, what's happening? This is wild, man. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm not going to sleep very much, I guess, but sleep is important. Sleep is important. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to have my own copy of the game like pretty soon here, and we're going to be done with Frozen Horror and we're going to move on to this, and it's going to be awesome. But the reality is, we're going to be playing Frozen Horror for a little bit longer, and we're going to have fun with it. We've been having fun so far. And when Rise of the Dread Moon comes out, everybody's going to spoil every last detail. But then that's when the fun begins, because we'll remix the quests, we'll put our mods in there, we'll play the game, we'll have fun our way, and that'll be it. And it would be nice. This is where the fun begins. Yeah. It would be nice to be able to stream like 8, 12 hours a week, but I just can't do it long term. Like I get blown out after doing like a
Wait,
a
what do you
6
mean?
hours.
What do you mean? You can't do 7-hour, 8-hour streams?
No, I can't. And neither can you, my friend.
Hey, I've done
I mean,
them.
you've done them, but it's not sustainable. Like I feel like it's not sustainable. Like I know I have limits, so I'm better doing the shorter streams or doing fewer of them. So while it would be cool to have like one stream where we're doing Mage of the Mirror, another stream we're doing Frozen Horror, another stream where we're doing Rise of the Dread Moon, all in the same week, that's a lot of freaking gaming. Like I need a rest. Like I don't want to
Well,
burn
hey,
out doing that. So I
we're
think we'll
about
just have to
to,
stretch it out.
right as we're about to end this one off, I'm about to go play AVP for a couple hours.
Dang, this guy,
So,
this young man before you.
gotta make up that time. And I
Yeah.
just did a 6-hour drive today.
Dang. Well, you get some R&R. I'm really glad that you got to watch some good movies, and you got to see what all the complaints and whining were about with some other bad movies. But maybe it didn't hit you as hard. And I'm glad we got to talk about this HeroQuest stuff, because I feel like some people maybe misunderstood what I was trying to say, and maybe I was misunderstanding what some other people were saying. Like, I'm not trashing the franchise. I think they have a pretty good handle on things, and it's not botched. Like, just the fact that you spoiled something, like it's kind of like okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say. It's kind of like the Star Wars thing, where people are so obsessed with spoilers. Like I was that way for episode 1. I was so afraid that if I knew how the movie like if I knew the story, like it would be ruined forever and I could never enjoy it. Like I thought that. I believed it. And now I'm just much more like, you could tell me the plot of a movie and it might sound like the dumbest thing, or it might sound awesome, but it has no bearing on what the actual story is. Like you can tell me the plot of Hamlet, and it's
Ice
like
Pirates
it's not
and
the same
Flash
as seeing
Gordon.
it. Add Ice Pirates to the watch list and Flash Gordon.
I
Yeah,
think I've
those
seen
are
that. I think I've seen those because I'm also a guy
for
who's
schlock.
seen. I've watched a lot of older movies.
Flash.
Yojimbo is
Ah!
one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah,
I've watched that
this
movie several
guy
times.
is full of. You'll find he's full of surprises. He likes stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think. You think, oh yeah, you just like the new stuff. Nope. Or you hate all the new stuff. Some of the new stuff you like. Yeah. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension as well. Buck Rogers, the Black Hole, Battlestar Galactica, the original. Battlestar
Like
Galactica 1980.
I'm one of those guys who's seen all 23 seasons of Gunsmoke.
Dang. See,
So
that's a gap. I need to watch more westerns. I'm trying.
is it 23 seasons? I think it's 23 seasons, but
Dang. I watched
I
the
also
Man with
used to
No Name
watch.
trilogy. That was an
Yeah,
accomplishment for me.
I used to watch Have Gun Will Travel.
You gotta shoot me in the heart. It's the only way you can take me down.
Like a lot of old westerns and spaghetti westerns because my grandfather used to watch those, so I kind
There's
of
some
grew up with them.
classics.
But yeah, like um, only seen
Yeah.
a handful. Nah, yeah,
Only seen a fistful.
I've I've fist. Yeah, I've seen a
Full
lot.
of episodes.
There's actually, if you could believe
Oh
it,
man.
there's actually an episode with Leonard Nimoy in it.
James Stewart
Which
was
was
in
a
a lot of westerns. And
so
I always think of him as like a screwball comedy like actor, but it's like he was in a lot of like serious like gunslinger movies too. And Clint Eastwood and John Wayne and lots of other people before that.
yeah, and yeah, Yojimbo was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like Kurosawa movies, I've seen a lot of those. Just the
Okay,
art direction.
I want to suggest a PC game called Outlaws, not the newer one. Outlaws 1996 or 97, 97. I forget the year, but
That's where
LucasArts,
on.
first person shooter, awesome game. It's a tribute to all those westerns, and it It's got cell shaded animation, great, and the
I got
soundtrack is awesome too.
me
A lot of
two
famous
shakes.
show Yeah, I've never seen Gunsmoke or Wagon Train or any of those. I'm trying to like see more westerns. I've seen
Yeah,
some of the classic ones.
I think Clint Eastwood was in Gunsmoke a little bit before he got like super famous, and he was like really young too. So like,
Yeah, it was
that
hard for me
show
to
had a
imagine
couple.
those
That show
movies
has
were
like
made in like the 60s.
that show had a couple seasons before it was like, um, uh, before it was
Thanks,
like
Weiler.
before it was in color. So a lot of it was black and white.
Take it easy.
But
Elvira says, "Got to run. Have a great night. Enjoy your next stream, StrangeBus." Yeah,
hey,
go out,
take
go
care,
home, and be a
Weiler.
family man, just like Guile likes to say.
Is it
Yep.
on PCs or is this on PC?
Which game?
Or do I have Outlaws?
Yeah. No, it's Handful of Missions. That's the one. That's it. And there's like, just like Jedi Knight and Dark Forces, there's like mods out there for like better resolution and like better features and like fixes and stuff. Once you get it going, it's pretty sweet. And it's got multiplayer, and things that people always say is like no cream, no Gatling gun. Because the Gatling gun is like the super strong weapon. The only downside is you can't move with it. And then the vanishing cream actually makes you invisible, so you can sneak up and just like shoot people in the back of the head.
Oh wow!
Isn't it interesting? It's like Dark Forces, pretty much, but it's in the Old West.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is super interesting.
yeah, and you've got the dynamite that you light with the cigar, and you got the sawed-off shotguns and the pistols, and you got the rifle, the hunting rifle with the scope on it, and yeah, it's something else. It's something to see, and the voice acting, classic LucasArts. It's like, don't be a fool, Marshall,
Oh wow!
and the taunts. Yeah, it's something else, something to see. And that is something you should see. Yeah, you can fire with the hand on the hammer to fire faster. The only things they don't have in it, they don't have double pistols, and you can't ride horses. If they had that, it would be like the ultimate cowboy first-person shooter. So before Call of Juarez and before Red Dead Redemption and all that stuff, there was Outlaws. I think you'll like it, especially if you like the westerns, because there's so many references to like stuff that I haven't seen, so I don't like get it. It's like, oh, this plot line where you got to hunt down this guy, you know, because there's a lot of revenge and, you know, betrayal. Gotta get that tin car, get the armor, and it's like, you know, it's like a piece of the, you know, it's got the sheet metal that you got to put under your coat to protect you. And yeah, Disney gets a few cents when you get it. Sorry. Otherwise,
Okay.
I mean, I bought it on eBay, a used copy, but I was so like impatient for it to arrive. I bought the Steam version too, so I could play it. And I waited for it to show up. But I mean, I could listen to that soundtrack just over and over. It's just like, yeah, the spaghetti western.
Okay.
You know,
Close. I'll buy it. Hold on.
Outlaws.
2 seconds, real quick.
Get StrangeBus to buy games. All right. So Joe Kozer says Lee Majors was in Big Valley before $6 Million Man. Oh yeah. We have the technology. Yeah. See, a lot of these shows.
Rebuild him.
We can rebuild him. Yeah. A lot of these shows, like I knew about them. I'd seen clips of them. Maybe I've watched one episode, but I wasn't the right age like when it was actually on TV. And didn't have cable for a long time, so I didn't catch a lot of the stuff until later. But hey, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. You know, I remember like the Hulk TV show. You know, Lou Ferrigno. Yep. Well, Redcast. Yeah.
I'll give you 2 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, my plan is, so you're going to be streaming tonight. I'm going to hang it up, and I'll be back Saturday to do HeroQuest. Probably start early, because 4 o'clock is probably about the time Nightfall comes out on YouTube or gets released on Hasbro Pulse, whatever, the free quest. So I'll start my stream, probably play till 8 p.m. And then that's when the Ancient Waters Within, which sounds like you got to go to the bathroom. It's like, oh man, there's ancient waters. I've been holding it too long. But yeah, so that's, I think a lot of people will bail then, and I'm fine with it. I'd like to finish Frozen Horror, but we just ran out of time. We'll just keep playing it till we're done and move on to the next one. Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, I might do. I want to
I
do the
have
marine missions, but I'm looking at the time. It's like almost 12 o'clock. Oh,
This is a good game, and when I played it, I think the multiplayer, I was frustrated by it, but the single player I enjoyed a lot. The marine campaign is pretty generic, but yeah, you want to be the Predator, you want to be the alien. Just the fact that it's so unique.
can do real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll end off here for the podcast. I will carry this over to my stream for. I'll probably do a couple missions for the marine campaign.
So we're raiding you then, huh?
Hey, if you want to. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep it up, but
yeah. Well, need your beauty sleep.
Need my beauty sleep. But yeah.
It's like
if this game. This is one of my favorites. So
if you wake up tomorrow and Kathleen Kennedy isn't fired, you're walking.
We're done professionally.
You and me, done professionally.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll play off
good
our,
for you.
I'll play off our outro here real quick.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the RantCast. Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who are still with us, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Shout out to Elviler and Amalgamash and Always Bored Never Boring and Ribby and Joe Kozier and Jacer and all the people in HeroQuest fans, Yielden, all these influencers that we're about to meet again for the first time. Yeah. For those about to rock, we salute you.
And once again, you can catch Kurgan on HeroQuest Fans. That's twitch.tv/HeroQuestFans, and myself at twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. Thank you once again for watching and listening to us at the RantCastPodcast, not to be confused with Lewis Black's podcast at all.
Yeah. Listen here.
So yeah, your support means a lot. Thank you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you again next week. Take care, everybody.
Cast. Yeah.